Do you guys feel like you guys have to stay together also because you're tied to
Yes.
the content?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
We're actually not married.
Yeah, we're just friends.
This podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
You started hot.
Well, I want to tell you something funny. I was upstairs getting dressed.
Okay.
And it's not like that crazy. It's just like a weird move. I was like getting dressed to like come down and record with you, and I like sprayed perfume on.
Oh.
And I was just like, what made me do? Like, I'm trying to be sexy for you and Tessa in this recording.
No, I sprayed perfume today too. And you were like, what is that, your detergent?
Well, I meant to like, I don't know what that smell is.
I don't know what
I
you
don't,
smell
I don't
like.
recognize the smell.
I want to be a person who always smells good. Like, that's what people say about Rihanna. People say anyone in her presence. Like, years later, if Tessa doesn't work for us, I want her to be like, they smelled good. You know?
Uh-huh.
Like, why would we not always want to be... Tessa, we're not saying you're going anywhere. But, you know, one day you might not want to work here with us. I don't know. Like, I want her memories to be like, they smelled good.
Also that we were nice to you, but also that we smelled good. That we
Like, they
treated
were-
you well, but most importantly, we did not smell bad.
Yeah, but if Tessa was like, Ashley's a heinous bitch, but she smelled fire all the time,
Would you
I'd
be
like,
okay
that's
with
fine. No.
That's fine.
But it would soften the blow.
I wear perfume every day of my life. I just don't usually spray it to come sit down in the studio with you. And sometimes
why
every
not?
once in a while, I will spray it on right before a Zoom call.
Oh.
Do you ever do
just
that?
to feel yourself?
No, just because I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know why I do it. I don't know what inside my brain's like. Go do this, bitch. Like I don't know.
You just want to get the vibes right.
Yeah, it's like when you look nice, you like act
Yeah.
good. When I smell good, I act good. Smell nice, act nice.
Well, that's the whole thing. You're supposed to like not always just be in like sloppy sweatpants every day. You're supposed not
Your
you.
sweatpants.
You're in like a look. You're wearing a baby tee. You're fine. But you know, like our friend who's a stylist, Lillian Charles, says like elevate everything you wear like up a level. Like take your sweatpants that you work in when you work from home and have those just be like pajamas. And then take like your running errands clothes that you'd wear out of the house, like leggings and whatever, and wear those like to work. Like everything just kind of bring it up one more notch. So you always just feel a little more elevated. I totally botched that. I'm sorry, Lillian.
It's
you
like
guys get it.
It's a look good, feel good kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I'm having like, I don't know, the best week of my life, to be honest, but I felt like we like looked really cute on tour. And so it like elevated my week.
Yeah.
Because I was like, my looks are cute.
Do you think anyone works from home in jeans?
You have that one friend that travels in jeans, and I think she might work at home in jeans.
She doesn't, I don't think.
Okay. That is crazy behavior to me. I think men work at home in jeans.
Men work at home in boxers. You think men get dressed to work at home?
I can see a man putting on a jean.
I can't. The shit-stained boxers are men on Zoom calls. No perfume to be seen.
I lived with a man during post-pandemic that wore jeans, but I don't know what he did all day. Probably put the jeans on just while I was at the apartment. When I left, he took them off.
He just wanted to feel like he did a thing.
Yeah, there's that putting on jeans was his
He's like, I put on
activity for the
jeans
day.
today. Yeah.
All right, we're going to thank a couple of our partners and then jump in. Thanks to Built. Get points by paying rent at joinbuilt.com/GGE. Article, get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more at article.com/GGE. And thanks to Rocket Money, cancel your unwanted subscriptions at rocketmoney.com/GGE.
Yes, and thanks to LaCroix, find a list of retailers that sell LaCroix sparkling water at lacroixwater.com. And AG1, get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/GGE. And thank you to Fume, get a free gift with your order at tryfume.com/GGE with code GGE.
We're heading to New York this week, and I'm so excited.
We're spending a lot of October out of town.
Yeah,
Starting with New York.
a lot of travel.
EatsCon is Sunday. We are a headliner for the Infatuations Food and Entertainment Festival, and we are performing on Sunday. So we have a fun show planned for you guys. You can get tickets to Sunday. You can get tickets to Saturday too, but we're on Sunday, so you can grab those tickets. They're like $40. Eatscon.com with 5 E's, and we'll see you Sunday in New York.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun festival. It's like so many hot, amazing restaurants from all over New York, just pizza and tacos and burgers, and you get to just peruse around, try food, and see entertainment. It'll be really fun. And if you have kids, you can bring your kids. Maybe not to our show, but, you know, leave them
People
out.
brought kids when we did it in Chicago, and they removed their children
They learned a
midway
lot.
through the show. They learned a lot. You're welcome, parents. No, I'm really excited. We'll be there this weekend, and you're going to come in like Saturday. I'm going to go earlier, and then Sparkle Eyes, my fiance, is coming in, and we're going to go to Sleepy Hollow. It's like his idea to go up to Tarrytown.
I love Tarrytown. I think it's the best day trip outside of New York in the fall. It's so beautiful,
Yeah.
the leaves, and it's just like, I mean, upstate New York, Tarrytown's not that far, but like, it's just so quaint and cute.
Ugh.
But like, that's where people that work in New York City go home there. Like, it's great restaurants, it's great bars, it's great entertainment. It's really nice.
So fun weekend planned, and then we'll be in New York for a whole week next week if you guys are listening, and then we have a wedding in
Andrew
Florida.
Collin. Andrew Collin's wedding.
And then we will be in Portland, Maine and Philly for our 2 Halloween shows. So we just wrapped up incredible shows in Pittsburgh, Indy, and Detroit. Slumber party theme. Best thing we've ever done.
I mean, you guys I love how much you lean into the themes. You had all these like costumes with your girl groups, and everybody had matching sets, and there were some sexy PJs, there were some comfy PJs. It's just, I love how much you guys lean into a theme. Love
It was everybody. I mean,
everybody, not my parents, but everybody else.
definitely the small minority of people didn't dress up, which we don't care. You don't have to do the theme, but like almost everybody did it because why wouldn't you want to be in pajamas? And so Raina and I performed in like pajama looks all 3 nights. They're mostly on our Instagrams, Raina.Greenberg. I'm Ash Hess. You guys can check them out. Let us know what you think. And it was, smartest thing we've ever done. Like, how are we supposed to go back to regular clothes after this?
Also, it was just like, it rained so hard on all 3 cities, and it was kind of gloomy. So to have like a cozy theme was like so
great
nice.
call. I
Yeah.
didn't even put that together.
We nailed it.
Yeah. Like people were coming in from like rainy, windy conditions.
You're not trying to look cute. You're trying to look cozy.
But like in their Uggs, like appropriate, not in like a stiletto heel.
What a dream.
And I just want to throw out a few thank yous. We opened the shows with 3 iconic drum lines. We had the Steelers drum line in
Guys,
Pittsburgh.
I've waited for this for so long. We finally got them.
Yes. So we had the Steelers official drum line, and then we had the Indiana Pacers drum line in Indianapolis. So fun. They had little nets on the bottom of their drums. I'm obsessed. And then we had this incredible drum line in Detroit called the Drum Kings. The director is this guy, Antonio, and they'd perform for everybody. I mean, they've been at the Super Bowl. They've done all kinds of things. And he said this is his favorite thing they've ever done.
Jay-Z concerts,
He
the presidential inauguration. Did he say that?
He texted me the next day. I performed in arenas, stadiums, theaters, even the White House, Super Bowl, and none of them compared to the energy and excitement of Girls Gotta Eat. Sitting in the crowd, I thought I was watching a movie. I hope you guys have a TV show one day. Like, I'm not going to read his whole text, but he just was like, this was the best thing ever. And that's such an honor. I mean, we love opening with these drum lines. No one else is doing it. And we have more coming for the rest of the tour. And it was just really so special. And they get us hyped for the show. They get you guys hype. Rain and I haven't walked out without the whole crowd on their feet in years. You know, like it's an honor to do that. And so thank you to those 3 drum lines. I have like highlights on my Instagram and stuff like that if you guys want to see more. And we always post and everything like that. But just wanted to, say that they were incredible. And next up is Halloween, like we said, and everyone's going to be in costume. We have amazing entertainers. These shows are going to be so lit. I'm so excited.
So we'll see you guys on the road. It's the best time ever. GirlsGottaEat.com for tickets. It was a great trip, and I love all those cities. Of course, I grew up in Pittsburgh. I went to college in Indiana. I got to see my family, college girlfriends. But there was like one thing that happened on the tour that was just like wildly insane. We have to tell you guys about it. Like, we really never know what's going to happen to these shows. People always think there's like a plant in the audience. We don't plan any of this.
We couldn't.
We write a new show for every single city. We crowdsource emails from you guys. We want it to be very city specific, and you guys tell us crazy tea about your friends. And we got this email in Detroit, and it was one of the craziest things ever.
Well, a lot of people sent us emails in Detroit and we're like, I just got engaged. It was like an engaged theme. We didn't see that in the previous 2 cities. And then we got an email that was like, why won't my friend's boyfriend propose? And we were like, oh shit. And she basically was like, they've been together for so long, years and years and years.
Really, I think 9 years, she said.
Like 9 years, and they're so wonderful together and they love each other, and like, why won't he propose? And they sound like they were best friends. It sounded like me and you. It sounded like her friend would be cool with her writing this email. So we decided to read the email. We asked if she was comfortable. We were like, can we read this email about your boyfriend not proposing? And she was like, fucking read it.
So a lot of times though, when like we say to people like, does your friend know you wrote this? It's usually like, yes, but her friend this time.
Yeah, she didn't know she wrote it, but she was like, yeah, read it. So we read this and the audience was tense. I was like, Raina, we've made a mistake. You were reading. I was like, stop, abort.
I didn't know what. So first of all, they're in the front row.
Yeah.
We are looking directly at them.
We could tell she was comfortable.
And also, like we always say, like we want you to be comfortable. We want consent to read this, whatever. But like,
we'll stop right now. Like
people were scared, and I was like,
scared.
I want to stop. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I can't read your facial expression.
And so then we read the email, and we're like, well, should we call him? She's like, fucking yeah, let's call him. We were like, what?
That girl was not really emoting a lot for me. So I was like, are you so mad at me? Like, I don't know what's happening. And when she said, fuck yeah, I was like, I was so nervous. I was so scared of you.
So we bring her up on stage, and also they've talked about their wedding. I think they even have like a date. They know what they're getting married in 2026 in Mexico. Like he just is dragging his feet on the proposal. It could be money issues with the ring, like whatever it is.
These two really young.
Yeah, they're younger, and so we call him. He's like knows us. I mean, he knows she is a fan of the show. He's so nice. He's like, "Hi, Raina. Hi, Ashley."
So sweet.
He's on the phone, and
he's on the phone with the whole theater.
Yes, and then we're like, "What's up? Why haven't you proposed yet?" And he was like, "Oh, I've had to pay to fix my car." The audience boos. We're like, "This sweet guy."
We're like, "We're on his side. We love him. He's so sweet."
Yeah, like they're in love. She's not like fucking light him up. Like she was just like, "Let's call him." So we're like, "Well, you want to come down here and do this thing?" And he was like, "Yeah, I probably could." We're like, "What?"
And she's like, "We live 5 minutes from the venue." I was like, "What?"
So we're like, "Well, come on down."
She yells at, "He'll be here at 9:40." I was like, what?
I was like, well, we'll get you a ring. Meanwhile, look, I had my backup Amazon dupe ring, which I mentioned last week, but like buried deep in like a bag. And I was thinking like we could try to get it. Then I was like, who's going to get it? Tessa's got to run the show, you know? And so I'm like looking at Raina's. I'm like, Raina will donate one for the cause.
So I tend to wear like all these like really gaudy rings
like
to the shows.
Jewelry,
just like tons of like fake diamond rings, tons on every finger.
Yeah. So I was like, well, we'll get you a ring. So 9:45, like 9:30, like
we were doing Truth or Dare.
No, but I didn't get to do the dare I was going to do. We were playing Truth or Dare, which was so fun. We had such a blast with it. I was going to have two people rap battle Eminem style, 8 Mile style in Detroit because I was running the tape on why didn't I ever get to do that. So I was going to see if someone wanted to come up and we were going to play like Lose Yourself instrumental and they were going to rap. That was one of our dares. And I was like, why didn't I ever get to do that? Because right as we were going to do that, he starts walking up the aisle and they're like, he's here.
And we dared him to propose.
And Raina perfectly goes, I dare you to propose right now. I was like, ah.
The moment was so crazy.
So he comes up.
Oh my God.
He gets on one knee.
Me and Ashley and the friend are standing off to the
we'll
side.
Play this on YouTube.
Up.
We'll play what we have. Tessa took a video of the three, me, you, and the best friend are like jumping up and down. The audience is going crazy.
Losing our minds.
And then, like, of course, she says yes. I ripped a ring off Raina's finger. I was like, I'll buy you another one. I knew it was like $100, whatever. I was like, I'll get you another ring. Yeah. Just send me the link. I'm still asking her for the link. She won't send it to me.
I'm not that worried about it.
And then my fiance's there, so I'm like, get out here. He's dapping him up. Like, we're going crazy.
And we are jumping up and down. I couldn't believe what's happening.
Like the rush, I can still feel it right now.
Still feeling it right now.
And so, listen, I don't know if they're going to like do another proposal. I mean, they know they're getting married. I don't know what's going to happen from here. We need to check in. But it happened at the show. We got a proposal at the show. Unplanned, because we had one time that was planned and it was a little weird.
That was so weird.
So this was unexpected.
It was just like such a rush. And to be like a part of that and their love story.
Yeah. I know she was like, you definitely have to officiate our wedding. When we were talking to them, she was like, you got to officiate it. Yes, I was like, I'll go to Mexico.
Oh, right. It's not Detroit. It's Mexico.
You know I go to Detroit too, though.
I know you, but okay. I didn't realize Detroit was a 5-hour flight. It is really far away from where we live.
It's far.
Yeah.
It's by Canada.
Yeah. I didn't know you guys. That was just what a moment to be a part of.
I know. I got to tell you, Raina. A lot happens at the shows. Like everyone's always horny, boned up. Like my post-show sex this tour has been so good and like extra hot and kinky.
Oh.
He's come to Vegas and now Detroit and he will be in Portland. So we'll see if we're like every show of the tour. But it has just been next level. I'm like, is it the show getting you?
I think it gets everybody really horny.
Yeah.
I think it really gets people juiced up. We're on stage in a bra. You're on a bra. You have a bra and those like lace boxer shorts on.
But I'm like, good for us. Mm-hmm. And the Vegas show was in like a wedding dress, and then we were at the club afterwards. But I'm like, he's really been.
He likes role play.
He's been surprised. He's really put on all the stops post show.
Well, I always think about Esther Perel saying that the times that people say that they're the most attracted to their partners when they watch them sort of doing something that they're really great at, that they're in charge of, that they excel at. And so, like, what's sexier than seeing your partner with a microphone on stage commanding this room full of people? Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have John and Alexandra today. We're so excited. And at the end of the episode, we run some of these scenarios by them. We ask people like, do you have an argument going on in your relationship that you want us to settle? And we pitch them a couple of topics and we chat through them and they're really so fun. But we like had a couple we didn't get to. So we thought we'd do one up top here that I'm sure you guys are interested in.
Yeah. So I will read this email. This is really just, it's stood the test of time. People are still arguing about this. And so I think it's really like an issue in a lot of relationships. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm almost 30. The guy I'm dating is 28. We've known each other for a long time. He had a previous relationship with a girl for 6.5 years and still had her on his social media. I know social media isn't everything, but it bothers me that he still has her on there. When I asked him to remove her, he wanted a laundry list of reasons why, instead of me just explaining that I was uncomfortable with it. They had broken up nearly a year ago, so why did it matter? Anyways, I would love some advice on how you guys view it. I feel like you should validate your partner and make them feel as comfortable as possible, especially if it's something that you can control, as simple as that.
Yes.
So we kind of were trying to decide like what this meant. Like she's still on his social media. So let's talk about it as though photos are still on the page and he's still following her.
Okay,
Let's break down
both.
both of them.
Also, can we just say that she knows this girl? They've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
I just found that interesting. Like, I'm just curious about the situation. Like, what'd she say? She's been friends with him for a while?
She just said we've known each other for
We've
a
known each
long
other for
time,
a-
and he was with this other girl almost 7 years.
But it's just kind of interesting. Like, whoever the girl is, she probably knows her too.
because that makes it better or worse.
I don't know. I just think it's an interesting layer. Like,
Uh-huh.
if you've known him a long time, you've known her too, and you've known stuff about their relationship. That's all I'm saying. I don't even really know what I'm saying about it. I'm just like, this is not some new person and you're like, get rid of your ex. You're like, get rid of Angela or whatever.
I guess it would either make me more sensitive or make me less sensitive, because
Yeah,
I would
I
either
don't
be
know.
like, I saw how close you guys were and what this relationship was like.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know those details.
Or you could be like, this was a toxic dumpster fire and our relationship's great and I got privy to that.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's the age old, the opposite of love is indifference. You know, for someone to like delete, that means they have feelings surrounding that person.
Mm-hmm.
The indifference would be, what's the difference? Well, who cares if she's on my Instagram still? But you also should want to appease your partner and make them comfortable. I mean, this is what the archive feature is for. You know, I always say, like, I don't want to delete my memories. Like, I don't want to throw things out. I have things from my past relationships. I don't look at them. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in some box deep somewhere. I don't want to throw them out. I don't want to delete all the photos of me and my ex.
Mm-hmm.
He's not on my Instagram. But like, I didn't have the archive feature when I deleted him. But if we did, I would have archived them. I don't know. These are like your memories. These people were in your life. Like, I've never been a like burn every photo and every memory. But this is like the archive feature is like one of the main things I feel like it's for.
Uh-huh. I want to like validate her because she's saying like, I know it's only social media, and I agree that it is just social media, but it hurts me. Like, social media is everything. It's everybody's window into your life. It's how everybody assumes you feel about things. Like, social
Yes.
media is a big deal. It's how you advertise your entire life to other people. So
Yes.
it's not just social
No,
media. It's
we
a big
never
deal.
feel like that.
I think that because the relationship was 7 years long, like you're asking somebody to really wipe their entire, like the last decade of their life. And that's a lot to just be like, you can't have these memories up here anymore. And I know, like, from her point of view, she's like, how can I ever mean as much to this person that was with somebody for 7 years? And this is just this photo album of that. And it hurts me. So I understand she feels like that. But I don't know that I would wipe 7 years of my life off my Instagram.
Right. I mean, I need to also see this guy's Instagram. Like, guys typically don't post as much.
Right.
So is the ex in like a one scroll up? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, does he post her?
Right.
Does she feel like he doesn't post her, but he has his ex up? Is there that playing into it? I mean, we just don't have all the details. Like, how many photos are there? And then she needs to ask herself, or, you know, talk about it with a therapist or someone else. Like, why do you want him to do? Like, what is the real root of the reason? Is this like only your ego speaking? Like, does it really matter? Like, is it so deep? Most guys, a year, how much do they post in a year? I mean, it's
4 times.
You're going to get to that ex in like one scroll up.
Yeah.
If it was my fiance, it's there on the homepage because he has 12 posts total. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she says how long her and this guy have been together. Like, is he refusing to post you and you guys have been together for a year and his Instagram is just
All his
packed full of
ex.
his ex? Because we have a friend that started dating this guy and he didn't really want to put her on social, but his ex was, who he'd been with for a very long time, like 6 years, was the whole feed. And so that seems a little weird if you've been with somebody for a substantial amount of time. They won't post you, but they posted their ex a lot. And so it's sort of a different question to me. Like, I don't necessarily need somebody to delete photos, but
Right.
I am curious why you won't post me.
Yeah, I think she would have told us that if that was the case. So it sounds like whatever's going on with him posting her is appropriate or good enough for her, I guess, because she probably would have shared that with us. I don't know. I don't really know how you approach this. Like, you need to figure out what your root reason is. And then if you really want to broach the subject, like, do it with like kindness and love. And like, this is kind of how this makes me feel. But you know, what is the real issue here? Do you feel secure in this relationship otherwise? Or is this a sign of something else? Are you actually worried about the ex coming back? Are you like worried he still has feelings for her? Because just remember, like, there could be a world in which this guy is so over his ex, he's totally indifferent. And he's like, I don't want to go through and do this. I don't feel like doing this. Like, I don't know. I would prefer that your Instagram is not all your ex, but I also am not someone that's going to force you to sit down and like delete a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm secure in the relationship.
Well, she's saying like, I feel like you should validate your partner and make them feel as comfortable as possible. You can validate your partner and still not do everything that they want you to do. And that's a really thin line. I do think that you should like validate them. Also, it's perfectly fine to be like, my boundary is I don't want to look at your fucking ex, and you and I are in a serious relationship and I don't want to see this shit. You're welcome to have that boundary. Like, you can have whatever boundary you want, but I don't think a person is like not validating you by not taking it down, because they're allowed to have their own boundaries too. You could decide if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I think of some girlfriends of mine that would really be like, take it down.
Yeah.
There's no photos that are going to be of your ex on this.
Yeah. And again, like, what does this say about the relationship? Like, are you guys having other fights like this? Like, are you having fights where he feels like you're trying to control him in other ways? And so this is where he's decided to use as an example. You know what I mean? Like, what else is going on in the relationship? Like, if everything else in the relationship is really solid and really secure and happy and healthy, like, I would probably just like let this go.
I think you should scroll through the Instagram with me and tell me why each one of those days was really not that fun. Oh, you're at the pumpkin patch? Tell me about the fight you had at the pumpkin patch.
And it's also like, is there a spectrum of this? Like, do some people just delete some of them? I think I have seen that. I'm answering my own question in real time. Like, there's a difference between the romantic vacation photos of just the two of you and then a group photo that had other people in it, or maybe it's the photo from someone's wedding that feels important. You know, like, there's definitely a difference.
So like, I like that differentiator. Like, is it just like a Ashley appreciation post? Take that shit down.
Right. Oh my God, I love them so much. It's just a solo photo.
Get it
out of here.
Her birthday, fuck her birthday. Get it off your feed.
Also, what if you look really hot in some of them?
Also important.
Right.
Also important. If it's a group photo, that stays.
Yeah.
A wedding, that could stay. It could stay.
It just depends. And you can take photos out of a carousel, so let's just...
Right. If the caption is like, this girl, down, straight to
Right.
jail. If the caption is like, my girl, look at this beauty, down.
Okay, so actually, let's compromise. Her and this couple meet in the middle. You're like, okay, you got to take half of them down.
Right.
And we're going to decide as
We're
a
gonna
couple
decide
which
together.
ones they are.
You pour a little wine, you go through it.
But that's my question. Like, when I
Does she look ugly?
Yeah.
Those stay.
Right. What does she even look like? Like, is she embarrassing you or making you feel bad about yourself?
Is this one of those photos that like you posted it and didn't ask permission?
Right.
That could stay up.
Right. Yeah. Like, are the photos saying that he has bad taste, or are the photos saying he downgraded since her?
Totally.
What is the message it's
What's
sending?
the vibe?
But I think, is she concerned with the volume is my question. Like, what does this bother you about you so much? If there are 3 photos, sis, drop it. Stop it. Get out of here.
Totally.
Are there 25? Are there 50? Like, is it the volume that's really bothering you? Ask yourself that too. A couple photos, I don't know. I'm going to let it go. I think, I don't know.
I can't decide because like
It depends on how many photos he has overall. It depends on the percentage.
the rational side of me is like, let it go, sis. But like the side of me in the relationship is like, I don't want to see this.
I guess if I'm thinking about my fiance, he just doesn't have a lot of posts, but he would never have a photo of his ex on his Instagram. Like, I don't think he even did before we started dating, but like, he absolutely would have taken that shit out. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
So
Also, length of the relationship matters. Like, if somebody was together for a year, you got to take that shit down. A year, like I had like 5 photos of my ex and I, my last boyfriend, on my thing. That came down.
but it's kind of like, if it's somebody that's so far down, you have to scroll so hard to find him. You can't ask me to delete that. Like,
No.
if my current partner had been like, can you get rid of the pictures of your ex from 2016? I'd be like, are you out of your mind? You do it then.
Grow up.
I'm not scrolling.
No, make
I'm
Tasha
going
do
to hurt
it.
my thumb.
Okay, and then following the ex, I feel like I don't care. I just don't care. Everybody that I've ever
No, what are we doing? Why are you?
like everybody that I've dated or slept with, I follow them and they're on mute.
What?
Yeah, I
Everyone?
follow most of them and they're on mute. I just like
Everyone.
a lot of them.
Everyone I have is blocked. I'm kidding.
My ex-fiance follows me. I don't follow him, that makes me laugh. Yeah, a lot of my exes, I follow them on mute. Nothing's happened to make me be like, I hate that person, I'm going to unfollow them. I don't go to their page. I don't think about them. And also, nothing is going to stop me from going to their page if I feel like it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we say it's a good sign when people stay on good terms with people they've had relationships with. You don't want to stay friends, but that also happens too. I don't know. So I don't know what's worse of the two. Someone that it was so volatile and it ended so terribly and they both still kind of have a thing for each other, or the person that they're like, I don't care. It was just amicable and we didn't want to be together. Like, what do you prefer,
I mean, that would be good. I also don't mind somebody just being like, I don't know, I unfollow her. I don't need her under my airspace. Like, she's out of there. That's great too. But yeah, a lot of the people in my life are just on mute. I don't look at their shit. I didn't want to show them I was mad enough to unfollow them.
But I'm with you where I don't like to show someone they got to me. I also think you can unfollow your exes, everybody, just so you know.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to be right out here. You can do whatever you want, but I don't think it's showing someone they affected you. They did affect you. You broke up. I don't think there's anything wrong with unfollowing exes for the pure reason of your exes.
Also, that is the easiest thing in the world. If somebody's like, I don't like that you follow your ex, bye. I will unfollow them in 1 second.
Yeah.
If my partner is like, I don't like that you follow them,
yes.
It would be the quickest unfollow in the world. What do I need to follow them for?
Totally. I mean, I'd be like, okay, well, is there more that he's going to try to be controlling and possessive about and jealous? I don't like that. Mm-hmm. But if he was like, hey, it's weird to me, I'd be like, okay, I don't care. I don't want to see what he's up to anyway.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raina will stalk him on our Insta.
Yeah, I guess I can still look at him if I want to.
Right.
I'll unfollow him. What do I care?
That's the easiest thing in the world to me.
That's so funny. You're like, sure, I'll unfollow him, but I'll still be looking.
I'm going to be looking. You got me. Block them.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's nuanced. We don't know all the ins and outs. I would like to. I want these people's Instagrams in front of me right now. I could make a better assessment if I knew more.
Listen, sis. DM us his Instagram.
No, seriously. Let's respond and be like, hey, we need more details here.
Yeah.
I'm going to write out questions. We'll have a test to send and we'll report back next week. You guys think I'm lying? Okay. Well, we are so excited to get into the interview, but we're just going to go through our partners. You guys, I am so excited to talk about LaCroix. I am in my sparkling water era. Raina, you know me. And it's been within the last year. I always was still flat at the restaurant. I didn't just treat myself with sparkling water. I would mix it with alcohol, but I wasn't a drink sparkling water girly.
No, you're fancy now.
And I know. And I really have been so into it. And obviously, who doesn't love LaCroix? We love everything about it. We love the branding. We have the merch. We're just such fans. So we are so excited to partner with LaCroix Sparkling Water. If you're looking for refreshment, flavor, and sparkle without the guilt, look no further. Zero guilt, zero compromises. LaCroix, 0 calories, 0 sweeteners, 0 sodium. You can just enjoy the fizz and flavor without guilt or compromising your health. So we're just obsessed with it across the board. I mean, I find myself sometimes at night, I've had dinner and I'm full, but I want something nice to treat myself. Maybe when I watch my nighttime TV or I'm reading or something, and it's a treat.
It's the perfect amount of sweet. Also, I love the pamplemousse. I love the cranberry. It's my number one sparkling flavored water. It always has been, and I like it. I like to mix drinks with it. It's the best.
Yeah, we have them in our green rooms, and they have a new flavor, strawberry peach. So we're obsessed with this. I love the can too. They just look so cute when you're drinking a LaCroix. So this blend innocently captures strawberry's sweet, vibrant taste and peach's luscious, juicy flavor. So we love that. That's the new flavor, strawberry peach. And of course, LaCroix sparkling water is available nationwide. You can find a list of retailers on lacroixwater.com. So again, just a reminder that LaCroix is all about unique flavor, good health, and love. Strawberry peach combines sweet strawberries with juicy peaches for an innocently delightful sip of bliss. Enjoy this guilt-free beverage with 0 sugar, calories, sodium, and sweeteners.
Okay, we've all been there feeling like we are burning cash with those rent checks, and it is very frustrating, right? But here's the deal. Built Rewards has figured out a way to make rent more rewarding. Say goodbye to the money bonfire and hello to a renter's revolution with Built. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points towards a hotel or flight with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties. You can also use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them towards future rent payments. They're designed to meet your lifestyle. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. We love that. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/GGE. That's joinbilt.com/GGE. And make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/GGE to start earning points with your rent payments today.
Okay, and I'm telling you about AG1. This is how you can build a healthy morning routine. It's so important to have something healthy in your routine, and obviously what better time than morning. So in just 60 seconds, you can get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, and more. And that's why we have both been drinking AG1 for years now. We love that it supports digestion, reduces bloating, keeps you regular. Most important thing in my life. If I'm not regular, I can't get through the day. I'm like, well, I'm dying.
No.
Truly.
In
a research study, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. Huge. And in another research study, 97% of participants felt digestion improved after 90 days of drinking AG1. And in a recent research study, AG1 was actually shown to double the amount of healthy bacterial in the gut. So gut health is so important, and we're so big on like the gut and brain connection. And again, this is just the stuff that makes you like feel good, have energy. The powder form makes it easy for your body to digest and access the nutrient-dense ingredients in the formula. So you're just going to scoop it out, or if you have the travel packs, which we love too, you're just going to put the powder in your glass of water. We love ice cold water, and just shake it, mix it up, and just drink that. And that's going to be just your one daily scoop. It provides your whole body benefits like gut, immune, and stress support. So you guys can start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health, and that's why they've been a proud partner of ours for so long. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/GGE. That is a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/GGE. Check it out.
Okay.
All right, guys.
We're so excited to have friends of ours here with us today. They're incredible content creators. I just absolutely love everything they touch. And so do you guys, because they have millions upon millions of followers. Between the two of them, they are the dynamic couple, Alex Madison and John Bouffard.
Yay!
Thank you for having us,
thank
guys.
you.
Oh my God.
I have to say, I feel like this is my dream come true. I have been listening to you guys since 2018.
What?
And I feel like I've been
You're
such
just
a
now
fan.
telling us this.
Oh yeah.
She told me when I met her. I thought I told you.
I know, because I think when we met you guys after that one podcast like a year ago, I was like, I've met so many celebrities at this point, but you guys were one of the coolest. Even though I just told Snooki that too.
You
but
literally just said that the other day.
Somebody's going to run the tape. Like, she tells everybody
Fake as
that.
shit.
Literally just said that to Snooki.
But like, I think it's different because Snooki was like on TV. You guys, I've listened to when we were engaged,
Snooki's
getting
never gonna
married.
hang out with us again.
Yeah, yeah.
And John,
But-
what about you? How long have you been listening?
This week.
started. Just started.
Exactly. So huge fan. Thank you for
No,
having us.
well, I was just thinking, I was trying to think of the first video I probably ever saw of yours. I do know what it is. Oh God. It was the one about like a guy being short and he was like in the room.
Sounds about
was
right.
that a top one that put you guys on the map?
There's no specific video, I think, that like put us on the map. We've had random ones just like go off. So for us, it's like a slow build, but we've done a few about height differences just because which is great about John. Sorry, I'm already talking too much. I know, John. Is that
I didn't say that.
is that he has always been so secure in his height, even though we're the same height. He's always
John
been like,
is so hot.
I want you to wear heels.
John has big. He has tall energy. I actually did not. I
thank
think
you.
everyone's short, and I did not read you as
I'm
short.
glad to be
Also,
here.
John's not short. It's just
I'm tall.
How tall are you both?
Average height for males, 5'7".
Are you
5'8".
5'7"?
I'm 5'9".
And
I would have
5'8"
never said
and a half.
5'9".
Me either.
I
You
would've
give
said 5'11".
You get 5'11".
At
Wow.
least.
Yeah.
I'll take 5'11".
Yeah.
But is the video you talking to your friend and he's in the room?
Oh yes, it's me
Yeah.
talking to my friend about her hot or like the guy that she's dating, and it's me playing this other character, and she's like, "Oh my god," and he's 6'4", and I'm like, "Oh my god," and then it cuts to John, and it's like my 5'9" husband.
He's just like making a sandwich.
and I'm like,
what's
"Ew,
going on?"
why would you ever want to date a tall man? Your neck would hurt. Gross."
I think this was like an actual conversation you've
Yes,
had.
and it was. So that's a lot of our content is from conversations that we've had in real life. So that actually happened, and I was like, we have to recreate this.
Yeah, our listeners asked how you guys like come up with concepts. It must just be like day-to-day real life. All your content is together. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
cute.
Well, 'cause
I'm your
I'm
muse.
John is my muse. He just does shit. And I'm like, well, there it's the video for the day.
I don't know where to start.
How'd you guys meet? How long have you been
Yeah,
together?
so let's
How'd
start
you
with your
start this?
relationship
Okay.
origin story, and then I want to hear about your influencer couple origin
Yeah.
story.
Tinder. That's how we met.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
we met on Tinder.
Were you just
I'm
horny that day?
I'm not like a storyteller. Alex tells me because I like go straight to the point. I'm like, we met on Tinder. We lived in Raleigh. We moved to New York. You
I mean,
you
that's
dive
really
in.
it. That's the gist of it. We met on Tinder. It wasn't
Tinder.
like sparks right away. We fucked on the second date.
Okay.
What
Stopped
year?
talking.
I had sparks.
It was
I told her from the beginning. I'm like, we're gonna.
No,
That-
that's how it's
okay.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is the every correct love story.
Yes.
Is the
No,
man being
you're
like, no,
right.
I was into you day one, and then the girl's
Yes.
like, it was a slow build for me.
No.
That's how
you
it should
are
be.
100% correct. And I tell my friends that. I'm like, he needs to love you more than you love him. I love John so much. I literally
Just like 1% more. They
No,
have to love
exactly.
you a little bit
John,
more.
no, like,
and they have to be sure of you.
Yeah, she dodged me a couple
We're equals
times.
now. I love you so much now. I probably love you more.
I think you love me more
back
for sure.
No, this is how I feel exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, I'm so obsessed with him now. But back then, I was like, ew.
This is great.
He
No, the
waited
guy
you
is
out.
supposed to be sure first.
Yeah.
It's not. Women don't grow on men.
Yep.
That's not a thing.
I'm also a little older. I was getting tired. I was like ready to settle
Run
down.
down.
You know,
How old
run
are you
down,
guys?
Defeated.
So you are younger than we are. How old are you?
I'm 37.
And I'm 32.
Okay.
Okay. and how long? When did you meet on Tinder? What year?
2016.
Okay.
So yeah, I was mid 20s, and John, you were
29.
29,
Yeah.
almost 30. One of our first dates, we did do like wine and design paint night. We got so drunk drinking this wine, but at the end of the night, and these paintings were so ugly. John goes, sign my last name on that so we can hang them in our house when we get married. And I go, ew, red flag. He's too obsessed with me, and I threw the paintings away.
I was joking.
Not the pain.
You threw the painting
I
away.
threw the paintings away. Yeah.
Made
you
me
take
love her
a-
so much more. You know?
Did she tell you
Yeah.
she threw it out?
Yeah.
I truly was just like, he likes me too much. And when you're not ready for a relationship,
that's
you're
how
going
it's
for the
supposed to be.
toxic person who doesn't
Yeah.
want you. So I was only chasing the guys who were ignoring me. That was obviously not the answer. And then it turned around because I just knew, I was like, I like this guy. We have so much fun together. We laugh, but we run into each other at a bar. He looks at me, ignores me. And I'm like, how dare he? This man, like I'm his queen. And so that's really what made me realize, like, I can't lose him. I like him so
why
much.
did you-
Why did you
paint-
ignore her?
We hung out like 6 different times, and
Yeah.
then we would like hang out, and then I wouldn't see her for a couple months.
Yeah,
and then
'cause-
we'd hang out again, and then I just got tired of it. And, you know,
He
I
was like,
you know
I
what?
want to
I'm
be
moving on.
exclusive with you. And I was like, no, like, I'm not there yet. I want to, date around. And he's like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's me or no
Can't have
one.
this dick.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
right.
like, well, then fine.
Can't have
And I-
multiple
and I was
dicks.
like, go off, go be free then. Like, I don't want to be anyone's girlfriend. And then I realized when he ignored me that I did want to be his girlfriend.
I love this story.
It's all about the chase. I
Because
feel like
it's
isn't it?
realistic.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like it wasn't this moment, love at first
wasn't.
sight. It was we met on a dating app, and then it took a while, and then
And I think the issue too, or like what we have found is that like we truly felt like we were friends. Like I never felt butterflies. I of course was attracted to him and I love him, but like I never felt nervous or anxious around him. I was like, I truly feel at home, like he's my friend. And we just
I always felt nervous. I was like, is this the last time I'm going to see you? Or
John,
will I see you the next day?
I love this story that you see her walk into a bar and you're like, now's my moment.
No, literally, he
I'm gonna
turned
ignore
around.
her so hard.
She was also rolled in with these 2 Neanderthals. And I'm like, fuck, dude. These guys are like 6'8". I'm sitting like,
Did he make clear eye contact with
Fuck
you?
yeah.
yes, 100%
I was like,
across the bar. And then turns around.
did I do a wave? I was like,
No, the wave was like this. And I go, oh my God, he's mad at me. He's mad.
He's mad at me.
I can't. I was like, no, we're meant to be. And I had to make a decision in that moment. If I chase after him, I have to marry him.
so she stalked me on Snapchat through the night,
I followed him to
found
this bar.
which bars I was going to.
With the Neanderthals or no?
No. I left them. I
Drop
was like,
them, yeah.
because
Yeah,
I was
what
with my
did you do?
sister, and my sister was like dating one, and I was like kind of talking to this other one, and I was like, you guys are so boring. Like the spark just wasn't there. So at that point, people like before Find My Friends was a thing, you could see people's Snapchat locations.
Yeah.
I was like, John is at Milk Bar. I was like, Brianna, my sister, I was like, we're going. So we went.
stalked
You're
him at
talking
Milk
to
Bar.
some other girl. You immediately stopped talking to her when I walked in.
Oh, you didn't ignore her that time.
Well, I was talking to someone else, and I saw you. I was like, okay, you gotta go. Get out of here.
My queen has arrived.
Finally.
I love this like slow burn story. 'Cause I think so many people
It was
think
like 6
like
months.
I think people are like, if it's not now, it's never. And like things don't have to be like this overnight, like we're in love, everything's perfect. Like you can drag it out.
Right.
You were really young.
Yeah, I know, because I was 24.
Didn't you
and so
just get
I was
out of
25.
like a serious relationship?
No, I was single for a year. And that's why when you were like, I want to date you, I was like, no, I need to give myself a year to be single. But again, we got
I'm just trying to
married
give you the benefit
when I
of
was
the doubt
27.
of why you wouldn't be with me, but okay.
No.
She's like, no, it's not because I was just in a relationship.
Yeah. No.
No, I just didn't like
I
you.
was ready, but it just wasn't. You weren't the one.
I wasn't ready
It
for
wasn't
you.
an actual reason. I just wasn't really that into you. Oh, cool. All right.
John, I was gonna let that slide, to be honest. I'm glad that everybody.
John's
brought
like,
it up.
remember though, your whole family died and you were upset.
It was
and
really traumatic. Like,
Yeah, you were just dealing with a lot.
You were brokenhearted. No, I wasn't it.
Yeah, nice.
Was the sex good?
Amazing. I'm the
After
best.
paint night?
After paint night. Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember. Honestly, Alex really took advantage of me
That night?
most nights.
Most nights. I can see that.
listen, I was just in my like party girl phase. I was out of a long-term relationship and I was just like, this is fun for me. But so after we got together, after like the bar, when I was like, now he's my Prince Charming and I love him, it really was like 0 to 100. We were like, okay, we're going to start a business together. And we got engaged like a year after that. And I got married at 27 and I look back and I'm like, I was a child bride.
Yes.
Thinking about being 27 and getting married.
It's
But
so crazy.
it's so crazy.
Like our assistant just went to a wedding. I'm like, of who? She's
Yeah.
23.
23.
And I was like,
Wow.
was it an older cousin? No, a friend. I'm like, child bride.
But he grew up in the South and I went to NC State for school. So everyone in the South is getting
Exactly.
married at
Totally.
23, 24.
Totally.
But being from New York, I was like, oh my gosh, none of my friends are getting married. Now they're getting married in our 30s. But yeah, I was like one of the first friends and I was like looking back, couldn't believe it. But still going strong, John. Look
When
at
you
us.
know, you know.
So
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
started like early on to start making content together?
So we moved from Raleigh like within 8 months or 9 months of dating.
Okay.
Moved into her grandmother's basement. I was a therapist. I was working as a therapist. She was starting the company for weddings.
Okay.
So we filmed weddings.
Yeah.
Okay.
In New York.
Yes, we were wedding filmmakers because I was working for a company filming weddings. And John, he encouraged me. He was like, I can help you shoot them if you train me on a camera. So you should start your own business. And I was like, I can't do it alone. Like, so I trained him, taught him everything. So we would shoot on the weekends, weddings in New York in the tri-state area. And then I would edit and he would, be a therapist during the week. But yeah, so lived in my grandma's basement, saved up money, moved back down south. We've lived everywhere. But then all of our work was in New York. But we didn't start doing content together until the pandemic.
Yeah.
Got it.
Everyone's origin story is the
Exactly.
pandemic. It's like, what are we
Yes.
going to do with each other?
I think
Gotta
it was,
do something.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then just for fun, or did you have a little thing in the back of your head like this might take off?
I was still a therapist, like essential worker, so I still had to go into work every day. So I'd come back. All of our weddings got pushed.
Sure.
So Alex was at home. And did TikTok just start?
TikTok was around, I think, in
Everybody
2019,
discovered
but
it.
pandemic times was when
Yes,
everyone discovered
totally.
it. Yeah.
She would want me to do these TikToks with her. I'm like, if this is something you want to do, I'll do it with you just for fun. Because I know she's at home all day. So I felt
like,
sad for
It
her.
was a pity TikTok.
It was a pity TikTok. I'm like, what do you want? What dance do you want me to
I'm on
do?
unemployment.
Oh, right. Everybody was doing the dances with. I forgot that every couple
Yeah.
reverted to dancing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Well, yeah. And it was kind of just no man's land. I was figuring out what to do because we had this editing background, or I had this editing background, and I saw people going off and like going viral on TikTok. And I was like, I feel like we can do it. But I started putting out like high quality videos and they would flop. And I'm like, why aren't they doing well? It's because it wasn't native to the app. So once I started dumbing our content down, and I noticed it performed better once he was involved, which I was like,
You dumbed it
great.
down with
You
John.
really dumped it down.
Just brought it down a couple pegs for me,
She's like, I had solo content that was really like high
High
caliber,
level.
and then I brought
like
John in and
too
dumbed it all down.
highbrow, went over everyone's head. I was like, this
John's
is
a
too
therapist, meanwhile, he's like a truck driver. I I brought in this dumb idiot.
But I do remember this also with like food content because I was a food content creator, and the really high end, like produce it with a camera, really highly produced stuff started to really tank, and people wanted really authentic TikTok type of content.
It was
Right.
like when the raw style of content started coming, or it just started going off, you know, where people were like, we don't want you to be so beautiful. We want you to be, you know,
Oh my
short.
God. It reminds me of Danielle Bernstein's
That's the first thing I thought of.
intro into TikTok. She gets on TikTok with the most professionally shot, curated, not TikTok type
Right.
content, and people went crazy.
Yeah.
She launched like a commercial.
And people were like, ew.
Oh no!
Like, brother, ew. Like, what is this? Wasn't
By
what
the
this
amount of
app
effort
is
she put
about.
into it too.
Yeah.
Right. It was just, I have thoughts and feelings. We're not going to get into it, but it was like, this was so tone deaf for the app.
Yes.
Like, this is not, how'd you not look into the app before getting on
right.
it?
Well, and that's
Anyway.
the thing. You have to be a user of it to understand like the trends and everything. So I was just on it all day because I was unemployed at the time.
Yeah.
So I had nothing better to do except do that. And then try to make it as seamless as possible for John when he got home from his very demanding
I was like, I swear to
job.
God, just tell me exactly what I have to do. And actually, it's kind of like that now. I'm like, just what do you want? Just tell me what do I have to do?
You
So I'll
guys-
just break it down and have like exactly like the lines and script
Right.
what we're doing.
Like, this is it. I'll handle everything else. Just say this one line.
Well,
and then
you
like
really
God
come into your
forbid,
own,
I had
John.
him do it more than like 3 times.
Yeah, you're out here doing solo stuff. You and Jason just bopping around the
Yes.
world together.
Yeah.
You know?
So he loves it.
I want to like talk about that too because people asked about like Jason and Kat, but you really seem like you're best friends. I mean, you really
We are.
get along. You want to
Not
be
right now.
around each other.
Currently,
I tell people we're fuck friends. I'm like, you have to be friends, and then you also still have to want to fuck. Like, it's so important.
But like,
True.
so my question is, at this point, you live, work, and play together. Like, there's no separation.
all day.
So how does that work? I mean, some people would be like, do you get tired of each other? I mean, obviously, you just really enjoy each other's company. I say it as a compliment. I think our audience loves you. We love you. You're very aspirational as a couple because you can feel that it's real. Obviously,
it's
like
Thank you.
anyone, it's a learning curve. Like you have to experience it and go through it, and then figure out how to like work around your issues. I mean, every time we do something new, there's always that speed
Growing
level of like
pains.
trying to figure out like who's gonna do what task.
I think it just works because we're so different. Like, we're the same in values of life, but then when it comes to business, it's like opposites attract. I'm the creative and he handles the logistics. He makes sure that I'm creating things on time, you know, and he's having the conversations with our team where I'm like, don't bog me down with this. I need to do something creative, you know? So we just work on different things. So we really don't cross paths until we're shooting. And we've kind of just like gotten to a flow. But again, to his point, it wasn't so seamless to the start. We did have like bumps in the road where, of course, we want to kill each other. But we always recognize we're like, is it because we're hungry? Is it because we're tired? What is it? Like,
or just need a break.
We need to
from
have
it.
sex. We haven't had sex in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's take
It's
a fuck
usually we
break.
have to have
Yeah.
sex
Yeah,
so we get back on the same page.
No, seriously,
literally, yeah.
Just get
But
realigned.
I think too, because we also owned a business and we were working together before
Right.
doing content, we were able to work out the kinks of what it's like to be in business with your partner. And So
Right.
that made it easier getting into content because this is a whole new business in itself where a lot of couple creators, like it could break them. You know, you get into like this new business or they've never owned a business before and don't understand like how do I make a business plan? How do I do this long term?
I also didn't come in as a partner that knew anything. I mean, I
Right.
never held a camera before. I've never edited before. I've never been in front of the camera before. So
So you knew Alex like had her strengths. I think it's like
Oh,
a really
yeah.
good just piece of advice to businesses in general, like divide and conquer. So
Yeah.
you're not. I mean, Ashley and I do that all the time. There's just a pretty clear division of who's going to do what, and we don't really impede on each other. But I think that we like really ask each other's advice, and I want to know what she thinks about every single thing. But like I trust her to do whatever she's working
we have
on.
a mutual
you know?
respect for each other, too,
Yeah.
which is perfect.
But you do what you're good at too.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna ask John to do something that I know that he's not gonna be good at.
Yeah.
Like writing a script for something. He's like, that is not my forte.
John, you just have like, you seem like you remind me of my fiance in a way that you're pretty just go with the flow. I think a lot of women may want their male partner to like do this stuff and they really don't want to. And they're like, now I'm resenting her. Why do I have to do this fucking dumb shit? And you just seem like you were down to do whatever.
I have had these shittiest. No, I've had these shittiest jobs. Like I am so appreciative of like what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You
I
know,
love
I'm
that.
like, thank God. Like I'll do whatever it takes to succeed.
But it was like I did have to paint the long term picture.
To not go
though.
back there.
I already feel like I made it. Honestly, if I died, I'd be like, dude, I made it.
Yeah, you guys are killing it.
I'm pumped.
But I did have to though paint the picture for him to be like, there is a long term reason for this. Like I'm not just doing
Yes.
to like show off your abs on the internet.
Not just
And-
making dance videos.
Yes.
It's exciting. I love it. It's something
right,
new all
right.
the time. It's always
Yeah.
something new. It's
I mean-
not the same thing every day.
Yes. And that's it. Like, I think as a young kid, I've always had a dream of like filmmaking, winning an Oscar. And so I'm like, there's no clear path of how to do that. But John has known that. And so he's like, whatever we got to do to get there, you know, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. But yeah, it's just a matter of like respecting one another, staying in our lanes, but just like communication. And that's like one thing that we preach on our podcast all the time is over communicate in relationships.
We also don't have time to fight. Probably you guys either. Like, if we have a fight, we need
We
to
had an
resolve
argument
it quick. Oh no! Did you resolve it, or you guys just
but
like
you just-
time out right now?
Yeah, but we just keep it moving. Like Rain and I have
Yeah.
like probably it's way less now. We maybe have like 2 real issues a year where like really we can't just keep it moving. Like
Right.
we've got to sit down and talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're way fewer and far between.
Yeah.
But like now we air it out and we just have to keep it moving.
Yeah.
Like we can't
So much bigger problems or like, you know, you have, and not that I could say history, you should look past toxic things in relationships, but like when you know that it's not that big a deal,
Intentional,
yeah,
too.
like what is the intention behind it? Like half the shit is so petty. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what
It's
are
like
we?
the dumbest stuff we
Yeah.
fought over.
Well, like for us, obviously we're not actually married, but it is like a marriage in the sense like
It
I have
is.
enough information about Ashley to know that like if something bothers me, she didn't mean to do it. If I feel upset about something, we will talk it through. This is not going to end our relationship. Like I have enough information about this individual now that I don't have to worry like that we're never going to get through this and she did something terrible to me on purpose, you know?
like I always say, I hate to use any sports metaphor for relationships, but we are on the same team. Like,
Yes.
because I've been
Yeah.
in relationships where I'm like, we are no longer on the same team. We think each other are doing things to hurt the other person.
Right.
We're saying things to insult each other. This is a bad relationship, whether it be a friendship or whatever.
But that's important to recognize and not just like your friendships, for your relationships, but working relationships too. Like we've had hard conversations with our teams as well. Like we always know we're on the same team.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing was ever intentional, but like sometimes you just have to have hard conversations with people you love, you know?
You always have to address it. Don't let anything bottle
Yeah.
inside. It's like makes
Right.
it 20 times worse.
Half the issues that we have like written into our podcast, we go, have you talked about
oh my,
it?
it's this. I'm like, what is
We
going
always say,
on?
read this email to your partner.
Hello.
Don't
Yeah.
email us
Do
about
you
it. Read the
talk?
email to your
No,
partner.
read the question out loud. You know the fucking answer when you read the question.
What,
like your therapist speaking.
What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say to you if you read this email?
I know.
My God. Yeah. But I think people are afraid to have hard conversations.
Well, yeah, it's tough. You don't know what the other person is going to say. I mean, you're up against a person that could really.
Then fucking bury it and be miserable the rest of your life.
That's
Like,
not, maybe that's not your person. I don't know.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are just going to take a really quick break and then we will get back into it.
I am telling you about Rocket Money. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but the real number is closer to $300. So that is a huge difference. Even just a couple of subscriptions falling off your radar can really cause a huge impact on your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You can see all your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help cancel them with a few taps. They'll also alert you to increases in subscription prices, which I think is interesting. And I've recently noticed that a bunch of my streaming services and a couple of things we subscribe to for the podcast, that the prices have really gone up.
Oh my
recently.
gosh.
Like a lot.
No, seriously.
I'm continuously.
Every day. Like they're like, hey, this is this price now. I'm like, you guys.
Yes, I'm
This
continuously.
has to stop.
Yes. So Rocket Money will help that.
Yeah.
You just see it all in one place. And they will even negotiate lowering your bills, sometimes up to 20%. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. I mean, you guys, that's so many purses you can buy. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/GGE. That's rocketmoney.com/GGE, rocketmoney.com/GGE.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you about Fume. So this is flavored air. And it's such a fun thing to do. We love the device. But if you guys didn't know, the flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking. It is a whole new movement towards better habits led, again, by Fume. And this is like so cool. I mean, I have like tried this and it's just like gives you something to do if you want to have something in your hand or you have like an oral
Agita.
fixation. Yeah. And the flavors are really great too. So again, you just get this little device. It's kind of made to fidget with. It even can calm your anxiety with magnets, snaps, and clicks. It has this really airflow, like satisfying sound too when you're inhaling. And the flavors are great. So I love the crisp mint. I just think that's like my preferred type of flavor for that type of thing. And then there's orange vanilla, which is really popular too. And it draws the flavor to your mouth. It fills the void. Ditching a bad habit can leave. So you still have something to reach for. It is not a vape. There's no vapor. You can use it anywhere. No nicotine. It's not addictive. Non-toxic flavors. It's a guilt-free alternative. And then no batteries. You'll never need to charge it because you guys are hearing us talk about this device. You're probably like, well, what if it dies? No batteries needed. And again, it looks really awesome. We just love the look of it. It's got this kind of like weighted, high quality design. And Fume continuously invest in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. Fume is backed by doctors in the US, and Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be the next success story. For a limited time, use our code GGE to get a free gift with your Journey Pack. Head to tryfume, that's TRYFUM.com, and use code GGE. That's tryfum.com, and use code GGE to get a free gift with your order today.
Okay, and you guys know I'm obsessed with interior design at my home, which is why I'm obsessed with Article. They believe in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their online-only model, they have some really delightful prices too. So they offer tons of really like sleek, beautiful options. They have a curated assortment of all different styles. They have mid-century modern, coastal, industrial, Scandi, and boho. Their team designers are all about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price. And so if you go on their website, they've really styled a lot of things for you because if you're like, I don't know how to design my space, which most people don't, they have tons of photos of how to do this for you. And Ashley and I were just looking at the bundles online. Like it's, it's cozy season. You might want to like redo your living room and have like a cozier living room, and they bundle all these things, chairs, end tables together. It's really gorgeous. There's tons of options with boucle and leather. I'm just like loving leather right now.
These sectionals, I mean, Raina, I will say, Article has been a long time partner of ours. I mean, I'm even thinking back to like 4 or 5 years ago where they didn't have as many items. Like, I feel like I know their items like the back of my hand, and like they have so much selection. It's not too overwhelming. Don't worry. The site is like so wonderful to shop. But like, I'm just looking, I'm like, good for them. Like, you don't need to go anywhere else. Like, they have it all covered. Yes. Like, they used to have like 10 couches. Now they have like every couch you could dream of, every color, every style, sectional. You want the like certain type of couch, you want the cushiony ottoman. They have that in a bundle. Like, it is the only place I ever need to shop. But every time I'm on the site, I'm like, I have to redo my whole house, even though a lot of my house is Article already. But I just want it all.
I know. I like their tried and true Sven sofa, and they have it in leather. They also have it in upholstery. So it's just really great, you guys. They offer fast, affordable shipping across the US and Canada. They won't leave you waiting around, so you'll pick a delivery time. They send you delivery updates. Their delivery is fantastic. They stay in touch with you the whole way. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/GGE, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Okay, let's get back into it.
Do you guys feel like you're aligned creatively? Like, would you do a reality show? Is that like,
That's so funny.
No, yeah, not at all. John would love to do a reality show.
I can't memorize lines, so yeah, I'll do reality, sure.
I can't either. John can't read good either. John is me.
No, I'm also dyslexic.
Not me.
Oh.
One leg up on you.
I draw the line
One
there.
leg up
I
on you,
was in
shorty.
special classes, so there's that.
Raina, that's so funny. You're like, no, I have no disability. I just can't.
Well, I'm in that boat by myself. Okay, cool.
No, I'm saying
John.
it's worse for her. You have an excuse.
How much longer is this
What's
podcast?
Raina's excuse? John's dyslexic. What's yours?
I'm too pretty to have to read. That's my excuse. He was talking about this ad read, and he's like, I don't like doing them because I can't read. And I was like, I can't read either.
I can read the fucking words. I'm saying I'm just monotone.
Raina, you've gotten a lot better. Raina started reading 2 years ago, and she's gotten so
I actually started 15 months ago. I started reading in June, the end of June of 2023.
Her first Colleen Hoover book really got her going.
Yeah.
No, but it's hard. But people have given feedback where they're like, I get so lost when John reads.
So I just act out the ads instead.
It's charades.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people asked about Jason and Kat, and it's Jason Tardik and Kat Stickler, and
Yes.
everybody's kind of obsessed with their relationship.
Yeah.
He was on our show recently when
Yes, and
April
he was
when
on our- he was a
launched
guest
the
on our
book.
Such
Okay.
a loser, isn't
Yeah, but we love him.
You guys you've been spotted together a lot. You've been hanging out a lot.
Yeah.
What's the story?
It's so fun doing couple content with them too, just because they're other well, it's funny because Jason wasn't a comedy creator, but
Jason's
now
finance.
Oh,
and
he's
now
in
he's-
it now.
Now he's in it. Yes.
He's hooked.
But because Kat was always like skit comedy too, because like that's the tough part in the couple space. Not a lot of people they just vlog, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not our style. We do just strictly comedy and skit based, but we don't find many other couples who do the same thing. Kat was one of those people, and so we immediately connected with her content. But she's just kind of brought Jason in, and he's going for it. And now you guys have like a bromance going on.
My
I
buddy.
love to
It's
watch
very
it.
cute. Wait, was she making content with her ex? Was
Yes.
he in the video?
initially,
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you guys have to stay together also because you're tied to the
Yes.
content?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
We're actually not married.
Yeah, we're just friends. I know. Remember when I said we're just fuck friends? That's
I
that's
know.
true. There's too much to lose
He
here
pushed his
now.
chair away just a smidge.
Yeah.
You guys feel like you just stay friends with Kat and Jason too? Like too much has been
Yes,
built on
exactly.
that?
Yeah,
we
that's
actually hate
pretty
them
much.
also.
Too many brand deals though. You can't really like let them go.
Yeah.
But you and Kat were like, you're like besties. You're like
Yes.
very close. Well, anyway, our audience asked, so we just
Oh,
want to talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah, because we're loving it. We're loving the double date content. Okay, but on that note, do you guys find it like hard to find other couples that you both vibe with? Because I feel like this is the thing out there in the world. Like two couples getting along doesn't always work. Those are four different personalities. The women might not get along, or the men. Like I don't know. So do you
I feel
guys
like more so the guys, right?
do you like hanging out with other couples, and do you find it hard to find them?
Yes.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, in the content world, there's not many couples that we actually enjoy in real life. But
Right.
What are you finding?
that people just are kind of
Be
different.
genuine. They're not
Yeah,
genuine.
Yeah.
People
Like-
are not genuine, or
Okay.
they just like think that they're hot shit.
Yeah.
And like we are so grateful and blessed for what we do, but I'm like, we're real people. Like we love our
Yeah.
parents. Like I love
Yeah.
my dog. Like we are just real. And so I'm like, I don't need to talk about all the fucking fancy things that we get to do. But a lot of people, that's just their personalities are built on, oh my God, but I got to do this. I got to, and whatever. I'm not going to like name drop anybody specifically, but
We'll do it
it's
after.
very,
What's the intention behind it? Like, are we trying to collaborate? I just want, like, if you want to hang out, that's one thing. But like, why are you hanging out
Yeah.
with us? To
You
do
think it's
what?
just advantageous that some people hang out
Don't
with each
use big
other?
words.
yeah.
So it means like if you collaborate together,
Okay.
which means
John
work
doesn't
together,
read
How,
much.
that you
how
can.
dare you?
I don't know if you could reach books down there.
No, the shelves are too high in here.
He wouldn't even be able to read them if he reached them. So I don't ever get to make
Hieroglyphics.
fun of anybody for being short.
He's not short.
You brought it up.
I'm like John's biggest
I'm
supporter.
average, above average height
We're cutting
by
him out of
1
this,
inch.
We're cutting him out of this podcast
Because you know I hate short people and I like John.
Hey, short people.
She does. She hates
it's a
Sabrina
complex.
Carpenter
It's
and
not real.
How
it's a
short?
narrative that has. It's a fake news.
that actually started the narrative. Ashley's like, I don't know where
rumor
everybody
about
got this.
herself.
She started it.
Sometimes I feel uncomfortable around a lot of short people because I'm like so big. It's probably my own
Well,
insecurity.
and then like you get like a little back problems because you're like, I need
Yeah.
to get down. I can relate.
But then like all of our friends who are in Vegas with us, it's like a lot of tall women. It's like 5 of us who are all 5'10" or above. It's just kind of funny. So I feel bad for Raina. 'cause
All
she-
I was
the
gonna say, I
energy
bet you
I'm
Raina
down
just
here.
feels great.
Okay, do you guys hang out with a lot of normies?
Well, yes. So we were gonna. I was gonna say.
and how do they feel? Do you have any friends that are like, we want to be in your Like, tell us how it feels to hang out with normal people.
Regular people, you call them normies?
Guys, I'm totally kidding.
you get a lot of hate mail.
Non-influencers.
we honestly are only friends with mostly non-influencers.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
as are we. That's what I'm
Really,
joking.
it's not
as
as any like brand trip that we go on. We never become friends with the other content creators. We only become friends with like the agency.
You guys are us.
people.
It's so
Yeah.
that we were.
We met on a brand
We're
trip.
also
That's
all older
Guys are
than
like a
everyone else
lot
that
of
are
content
creating.
creators are younger, and
Yeah.
so we don't like relate.
I'm not gonna hang out with the 21-year-old makeup girl. I'm like, I don't
Right.
give a shit.
Yeah.
Again, we connect with real people. And I'm also not the type of person, we're not the type of creators, because we're skit based, to be out vlogging. Like,
Yeah.
we do like to live in the moment and enjoy.
That's a good point. That like I think a lot of
Yeah.
times I get a little anxious around people who are like full-time content creators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to talk at all, or are you just going to make a video that makes it look like we hung out?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's with us. When again we're with all our friends, and it's like everyone's like successful and amazing and inspiring, but not a lot of them are influencers or content
Yep,
creators.
yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people echo this.
Are they
this-
new friends, or are they like, we hang out with a lot of non-influencer people that are our friends, but they're kind of before that. we
Before,
started
of
doing
course,
this.
yeah.
And after.
Like bag.
Yeah, I think it's a mix.
different walks of life. Like we have
Yeah.
our New York friends, our LA friends, and we tour, so we'll see our high school friends, our college friends, and stuff like that. But it's just, I think it's interesting to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. I mean, we had Becca Moore on recently, and again, she's younger,
Young,
but
yeah.
she was saying when she moved to LA, just some of these influencers that she met, she was like, there are bad people in the world. You know, like these are mean girls. And that's not to say they all are.
Correct.
But I think it's just like everyone has these like, I wish I was on the brand trips. And I wish I was doing this. I wish I was an influencer. It's like, you might not enjoy the type of people you would find yourself around.
100%.
And again, this is not, we know amazing influencers that are like genuine down to earth people, you guys being two of them. So it's not a sweeping generalization.
Yeah, it's not a generalization.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that we thought too, just like being in LA, where we were like, oh my gosh, it's so much more glamorous on the outside than it is on the
Yes.
inside. And then when you're actually like at these events and at these premieres, I'm like, everyone's just people. It's just people.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
yeah, we just enjoy people who make us laugh, honestly. That's number one.
Okay, so that's
Real
what you guys
people.
like.
And inspiring
real
people. Yeah.
for sure.
So we'll hang out with you guys.
So I want to ask you guys a question because we asked our audience like all about you, and our audience loves you guys.
Oh, God,
It's
they
such a
got so
positive
excited,
thing. They're
yeah.
just really like
Well, I am your audience, so
they just
not
that's what I
tracks.
love saying. But people love you, and I mean, all your content is really positive, and you shared a very vulnerable story this year about something that happened to you guys, and I want you to share as much or as little as you're comfortable with. But our audience wanted to know how you guys are doing and to
Yeah.
check in
Yeah.
with you and how you've just sort of gotten through all this, and you've been really generous with this information with everybody.
yeah. So, I mean, to rewind, I really connected with you guys, like just listening through the years, because you were always child-free content or just spoke about not necessarily knowing if you wanted kids or just not having kids. And that's kind of where we always landed. We were never like, we're going to get married and start a family. We were so career
Every day.
focused and we really like love our lives.
Yeah.
And so we never really envisioned being parents as the number one thing. But recently I listened to one of your podcasts with Vinny because we just had met with Snooki. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to listen
pretty
to this
serious
with Vinny.
one.
Yes, it's so serious.
High level.
Porn categories, yeah.
But you were talking about something about like, you know, contraception and pulling out. And I'm like, that's literally how we got pregnant. I was like, in the moment, I'm like, just don't this time. Just lay it in me. And we just got pregnant the first time.
Oh
and
my God.
we were
Just
kind
feel
of in
like
a
my
place.
pull-out game is really amazing.
Which,
Holy shit,
Which is
John,
really what
yeah.
I wanted to talk about because I haven't been on birth control for
John's
all these
pull-out game.
years. I'm
Wait,
not
so
kidding.
you've been pulling out, and then one
For
time he
6 years.
didn't, and you got
For 6
pregnant. Is that what
years,
you're saying, or
yes.
you got
Yeah.
pregnant during a pullout?
No,
No.
we did not get pregnant for
There was no.
Okay, you
One
in
time.
the moment.
Yes, I have been off of birth control for 6 years. And then we were kind of in the place where we were.
Thank you so much for validating that the pull-out method works.
It does.
Not all the time.
we're not
People
a
get really
doctor.
mad about this.
Listen, no,
Listen, we're not doctors. John's
Also,
a therapist.
It's like 80%.
Yeah, John-
I'm a
it's like
dyslexic therapist.
80%. It's
I
like
would say even higher. Like, I mean, honestly,
yeah.
don't like listen to us because if you get pregnant, like, I'm not raising that baby for you.
while we're here, let me just jump in one
I mean,
time.
it's a skill.
Because I said it was like 90-ish%. There are studies that say that is. And then a few people in the comments were like, it's not 90 because I got pregnant. I'm like, you're one of the 10%. I didn't
you're
say
right.
100.
Exactly. You didn't
Anyway.
say- I would say it's like 99% because, I mean, but maybe just in our case.
People are going to get mad. Planned Parenthood
Yeah.
said it's like 70 to 80. Anyway, let's keep it.
We're not doctors. So listen to another doctor podcast.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Another podcast. But anyway, so I wanted to bring that up because we were never number one,
Wow.
like safe, careful. But we knew that if we got pregnant, we were in a place that we would be able to raise
Right.
a child in a happy home and whatever. We were just ready to do it if that.
We never looked at it as like being irresponsible. It's just like if it happened.
This is an interesting story. I did not know
'Cause
this.
We
I
can't
thought
make
you
a
guys
fucking
were.
decision.
No.
Yeah.
Both,
Both of us
especially
are always like, should we? Should
like,
we
Jesus,
not?
take the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Totally.
that's really in the moment, I was just like, oh my God, you know what? Fill me up. And then
Yeah.
Mom
and then he
Dad,
did.
I'm
It's
fun
so
to say.
sorry
Sorry, I
for
know.
listening.
Sorry, Mom.
No, it is. It's fun to say.
It's fun. Yeah.
It is
But
fun to say.
My
But
mom
you
has
guys
3 kids. She can relate. So
But you guys are like where we have a stable relationship. We have enough
Yes.
money. We can support a child.
Right.
It's sort of like a YOLO decision. But you're like, if I get pregnant,
Yes.
this child will come into a loving home.
And
We want someone else to make the decision for us.
God,
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Shockingly, it happened and we were nervous, but so excited because it was just this new journey that we kind of felt like, okay, we're in a good place financially. We know that we have the help, you know, we have the flexibility of like staying at home with a child, but the idea that you have and the nervousness that you have around pregnancy, like giving birth or shitting on the table or tearing or just like losing your body or your freedom, all of that goes out the window when you get a bad scan, you know, like when things start going wrong in your pregnancy and you're like, wait a minute, things can go wrong. And then you realize like how little information you as a woman or even as a man has around pregnancy. Like you really don't know what you don't know. And again, because like we never had really decided that we wanted to be parents and were actively pursuing having a kid, we just kind of went into it not, I don't want to say naive, but like we were just ignorant to just all of the
It just really is like a miracle to have like a healthy baby.
Right.
It's
I know.
crazy.
yeah.
But it's also like, I don't know, you should be able to think positively.
Yes,
Like, I don't
yeah.
know. I'm with you in that, like, let's be realistic here, but like, that sucks too, to go
Yeah.
into it thinking like all these things could go wrong.
Right.
I don't know. What's the middle ground? Like, what's
Yeah.
the healthiest?
And I think like I'm a very glass half full person. And so no matter what, I was always like, it's fine. Like everything's going to work out. I'm like lucky girl syndrome. But as we continue to
Which was
progress,
horrible because like we got hit with bad news. Then we had to sit there, we had to process it. We get sad, we get depressed about it. And then like you have to wait a couple weeks for your next scan. Then we're coming to terms with it. Then we're okay. We're like, this could be better. Then we go again. And then it's more bad news. And it's the same cycle. So it was like over and over. And it was like that for 6 months.
yeah,
7 months.
6.5
I didn't
months.
realize this.
And this doesn't take away from anyone who has had a
course.
miscarriage or a sudden loss early on, because that is traumatic in its own way. That's emotional in its own way. But truly, when you find out that you're pregnant, and like I would have laughed at like someone who had said this previously before, like, you know, getting pregnant, it does change you. Like you become so connected to this little being that like this sack of cells that doesn't even exist yet. So you're like, I will do anything to make sure that we get from point A to the finish line and do it whatever we need to do healthily. But yeah, so I think our story people can relate to, but it is very rare. And it's not to scare people, but it's to help make other people who experience what we've experienced less alone, because you feel like when we were getting bad anatomy scans and we just felt like we never have heard of other people who have experienced that before. I'm like, I see all my friends getting pregnant and having baby showers and like they're just like concerned about their stretch marks, you know, or staying up late or like their nipples cracking and just
Even
things.
just trying to get information on it, it was very like limited.
And even like your doctors, they're just like, okay, well, we don't really know. And like, you don't really know much until the pregnancy continues to progress. And so you're just kind of crossing your fingers and praying. And again, I'm like, lucky girl syndrome, it's all going to work out
Oh my God.
until it doesn't. And then it just truly rips your heart out. And it's like the most traumatic thing. And I feel like I could speak on it now from a place where like I'm not in tears because I buried it down. And not that I buried it down, but I feel like it's almost like an out of body experience at this point because I've accepted it. Like there's nothing that you could do about it at this point.
And
And
it just comes in waves too.
yeah,
right?
Like
So-
all grief.
all
Right.
grief.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like not linear. And that's like one of the things I feel like I learned when I was going through something of just like, you think you're okay, then you're not. It comes out at weird times, weird triggers. So
Yeah. And I think too, it's just like, you know, you biologically as a mother, when you get pregnant, you want to do anything. You get so connected to, again, like I said, this thing that there's no worse feeling than like when you get to that gestation and you have the connection, like you're feeling them move. He's kicking you. He has a name, you know, all of these plans. And then it just in 1 second, you know, it changes. And so it makes you question everything. I think because too, it was our first. And so
Right.
it really spooked us because we have nothing positive to compare it to. Like other people who have living children, it's still detrimental to have a stillbirth or to lose your child at any gestation. But it's things that people go through, but they don't really speak on. And I had to grieve quietly. We took some time away from social media to just spend time with each other to reflect. But when we came back, I was like, I have so much that I want to speak on. I can't like keep this inside. So creatively, I was like, are we crossing a line if we add some comedy to it? You know, how do we speak on this without offending other people? But then you also have to look back and be like, well, this is my trauma. Like,
I'll just speak about how I want.
Yeah, like there's no right or wrong way to really talk about this. And
And
so
we settled on dark comedy.
I think it's brave that you guys did it. I mean, I remember when you announced it. I remember being up in my bedroom when you announced that you had lost the pregnancy, and I like sent it to Ashley, and I mean, thousands of people like went to your content. I remember like reading it, and you just were so vulnerable and honest, and you had announced it in such a big way, and so to have to just come back to social media and talk about it so publicly, like it's brave. I'm sure it changed a lot of people's lives, honestly.
It also helped us though too. Just
Yeah.
to kind of like get it. I mean, I didn't want to talk about it at all to begin with.
Okay.
And then like
The
after,
pregnancy at all?
No, just like everything we went through with
Right.
it.
Yeah. Like our
Also,
struggles.
during the whole time, like it wasn't great. So like we didn't want to do a baby shower. We didn't want to do anything because we just wanted to like make sure he was okay. And he wasn't. So I didn't want to like. And then when we did lose him, I didn't want to share and talk about it, but I noticed that it does help the more you talk about it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. The question I'm not asking is, do you regret sharing in the first place? That's not the question. But like, I want to talk about in general, sharing these things, whether you're an influencer or not, and then something goes wrong. I mean, this is why some people don't.
Right.
You know, and so I'm sure you can speak on your own experience. It sounds like it was helpful to get it out, speak to other people, feel all the love and the support. I think that really matters. But like, what are your feelings about that whole process of sharing it and then having to share the bad?
Well, when we first announced, I think I was 15 weeks pregnant when I announced. And they say, like, don't announce until, you know, you're 12 weeks or in the second trimester, you know, for safety purposes. But then when something like that happens, you realize there's no safe zone to announce. Like, something can happen at any time.
Exactly.
But because we had been, you know, dual income, no kids, content creators, we actually got a lot of hate from people who were like pissed that we got pregnant.
That makes me so mad.
No, literally, like
announced your
there was.
pregnancy?
But people also assumed that we were taking jabs at pregnant people, and we never were. Just our content was like what our lives were at that time.
No, but people
Yeah.
who were resonating with us because they were dual income, no kids, were pissed that we now were leaving the club. And we never said we were never going to have kids. We always were just like, we don't know, or like
or that other people were stupid for having kids.
Yes, and we never said that. We were like,
Never.
and to each their own, like whatever your fucking journey is. But this one girl like literally made a video about us, and she was like, I'm so disappointed in Alex and John and she's like,
they
I
lost
can't
you?
relate anymore. Yes. And so people were like, dude, these are inside thoughts. Like, go buy a fucking journal at Five and Below.
And these are real people.
Yeah. And so
Crazy.
we had announced and we got that. And so I was kind of just like, what? Like, you know, we're on this journey. And so when things started to go bad in our pregnancy journey, I was like, oh my gosh, like felt stupid that we announced because then I got nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, what if something does happen? But I knew that we didn't announce too early. Like we announced when we quote unquote should have. There's no, again, right or wrong
would
time.
announce. If you're pregnant, most people announce to their friends on Instagram, whether you have a following or not. People are like, this is what you get for putting your shit online. I'm like, dude, everyone fucking puts their
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
of course, no.
weird.
The
And
And
mindset
again,
is
like
sick.
the comments section, like I generally stay out of it. And 99.9% of our comments are so beautiful and
course.
positive. But it's the loud ones, the negative ones that really, of course, make you question everything and your worth. So I'm like, why are we doing this?
Well, it makes you be like, I generously gave you something about my life. How dare you do this to me?
And so we questioned about sharing about the loss, but I was like, we can't not. Like, we literally made all this like pregnancy
They're gonna
content.
know.
Yeah, they're gonna know.
They're never gonna know.
Yeah,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
know.
Your bump's gone.
No, I'm
and
just
you're,
like drinking martinis at the club. Yeah, no.
Like, you gotta say something.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. And being in the public eye, I was like, how do we, like, number one, grieve this and do it publicly in a way that's appropriate and feels like we're still honoring our son. And so it was such a well thought out, and I don't want to say strategic, but we were very careful about what we put out and how we put out it, because I was second guessing everything. I was just like, I don't even know up from down. Like I couldn't breathe. So that's why we took about a month off. We had stopped our podcast because it just, everything felt so overwhelming. And I was like, fuck, nothing matters. Like I don't care about anything at that point.
That was the hardest part for me was I don't know exactly what she's going through, and I'm just trying to be there for her. I'm like, what can I do? And feeling like helpless, like I can't take your pain away. You know, I'm just sitting with her all day. I'm just trying to get her out of bed. Like that was scary seeing
But
that.
it's your pain. You're hurting
Sure.
too.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too,
like
but-
of course, I know. I'm just, it's kind of.
It's funny. It's like who said to
Well,
us?
we met with a grief counselor
You did? Okay.
after. Well, because I have been going to therapy. I've had the same therapist for about 3 years. So throughout my pregnancy, even when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I don't know, like, is this horrible? You know, like just the natural thing of like just getting pregnant and not being sure if you're even ready for that yet. So she was super helpful walking through the journey with me from the beginning to the end. But then we met with a specific grief counselor, and I had brought up to her, I was like, you know, I feel like John is not grieving in the way that I am. Like, does he care? And that's what I was trying to get across, you know, in this group grief counseling session. And she put it back on me and was like, but how would you feel if he was grieving as hard as you were grieving? And I was like, it made me realize like I needed him to be strong for me. And he was being strong for me. So I think when we got to a place where I could breathe again, I could talk about it without, because there was a point where like I couldn't even talk on the phone with a doctor to make an appointment without sobbing.
Yeah.
But once I was able to come up for air, he started to grieve. So
Did you feel like, John, like you weren't allowed to be as upset as her and you need to support? Like, is that why maybe it read as I don't care?
I don't think you really used those words. I just wasn't as emotional at the time as she was.
Sure.
And then I don't know why, maybe because like being in healthcare, being around people that were sick or whatever, I just never, in that time, it's like not the time for me to grieve, I guess. That's the feeling I had. So then when she was okay, and then like it started hitting me different times because like we also have family members who are getting pregnant and like now that stuff kind of is like being a reality. So, but it just comes at random times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's waves now for sure. Like it started, 24/7. And then it was like, okay, I'm only crying from the hours of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then it was like just nighttime. And now it's like, it just random things will trigger it, but you really don't know. But that's just grief. And we're still learning. Again, there's no right or wrong way to grieve. And I think just keeping a positive perspective about it is just like, we're healthy, we have each other, and that's really all that matters. And it's like, at one point, I was very angry at what happened because I was like, why the fuck me? And I know that this happens to a lot of other people, but I toxically, positively am trying to see the other side and why did this happen to me? I have a platform. I'm able to reach a lot of other people if they feel less alone.
Totally.
That means something,
Yeah. You can feel that in the comments.
I was gonna say, I
You
think
probably
that
helped a lot of people.
really helped me out a lot too, like seeing everyone. So not to segue, but we shot a short film called Shower and kind of based off of us a little bit. I'll let you touch on that, but we posted the teaser and all the comments we had, everyone's like, oh my God, I needed this. They're like, there's nothing out there like that. And I think that's really helped a lot too, like being an advocate for people dealing with loss.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the short film, like I just need to, as like a creative, I just like write whatever comes to mind. I just have to get it out there. And so when we were thinking about shooting our short film, I was like, I do not want to create anything based off of like our loss, even though that's all I was thinking of. Like certain little comedic things would happen. I'm like, we could really make like a dark comedy about this thing though, because just random things like going into the funeral home, like to work out our cremation of our son. And I'm just like, this is the most depressing place, but like just the awkward interactions that you have that you could twist into dark comedy. So I just started writing down notes. And then I was talking to our team about it, Nilu, who I love, and she's just been like my rock throughout this as well. And again, just like surrounding yourself with positive people who you love is so important of like navigating loss as well. But anyway, I was talking to her about it. She was like, why not? Like, why not just write about it? See what happens. And so I just pen to paper, started writing, and then we created Shower based off of a couple. It's after a devastating loss. A husband helps his grieving wife prepare for her best friend's baby shower.
yeah.
And at that point, I didn't have anyone in my life who was pregnant at the time, super close to me, who was planning a baby shower or anything. But I was like, I would probably have, or someone who's in my shoes would have this interaction after going through this really traumatic loss, having to put a brave face on, and like what types of questions would they have to interact with? So it's a comedy. And after I wrote it, 2 people in our lives
The day
found out.
of shooting.
Well, no. 2 people in our lives we found out that they were expecting. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I need to put this out there because literally the lines that I was speaking from what I wrote in the short film, I was speaking now in real life. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is so necessary. And then the morning of shooting, I got invited to a baby shower and I was just like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
Crazy.
and we put it out into the film festival circuit, whether it does well or not. I'm like, this is just for us. It's for people who have gone through this experience, people who know someone. And after we had shared the teaser, we were out, me and my cousin at a fair, and you were there too. But this girl stopped me and she was like, I just want to thank you so much. She was like, I didn't experience a loss, but my best friend did yesterday. And she was like, I shared your teaser with her and she just felt so seen. And she was like, thank you for giving this, So it just, not that I'm like making lemonade out of lemons, but it's just like, what can you do? And as creative people, we had to put it out in some other way or platform.
I'm saying just having a platform, we're lucky that we get to experience like people giving us positive feedback.
Yeah.
Because that helped out a lot.
I think it's cathartic. I can't imagine people who create content for a living or do stand-up comedy or whatever it is not taking anything terrible that happens and eventually putting it into their art. I just think it's like the privilege of what we get to do
Yes,
is like have that catharsis and then reach people and hear their stories and help other people. I don't know. It's just kind of that like cycle.
Right.
So
I was like, well, I hope this makes me funnier. You know, it's character
Yeah, the real
development.
question is, do you feel bad for me now for making fun of me this whole fucking
No,
podcast?
I feel like you really have done all the right things. I'm impressed. I'm feeling nothing but
You have nothing to
impressed.
say?
No, John's like, what now, bitch?
Yeah. Mic drop.
I lost my baby.
What
What
now?
was this?
Say something funny.
I mean, I could, but I get canceled. So you guys can make jokes about it. I can't. Okay.
I'm like, the amount of like stand-up jokes that I'm like, I need to get on stage. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of dead baby jokes. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it is really cathartic. Whatever.
You have to.
One time I was very nervous about something that was going to happen. And I said, what are we going to talk about on stage? And she was like, whatever happens is
Yeah.
what we're going to talk about. And
Yeah.
it is a privilege. And I love this story so much because people are like, how are you guys doing? And you've been so generous. And I really do think you've like changed people's lives. Like even our audience asked like, well, how do you deal with grief between you? And to even just be like, this is how I supported my wife. This is how I supported myself during grief. Like I love this story so much.
I think though, like rewinding about choosing a partner, because I know how we were talking about like feeling at home and not feeling anxious. Like it is so important to think of in good times and in bad. This is the bad. If I didn't have John or someone like John to lift me up or just someone to lean on during this time, like I don't know that I would have made it through. Like he was truly my rock. No, it really was
enough.
so important having him be that for me because like when you get married and you make the vows in good times and in bad, you don't think about the bad being this bad. And it was horrible, but like we made it.
I mean, I think people should think about that, whether, I mean, this is a loss of a child, which not everybody experiences, but your parents are going to die. You know, like
Yes,
these are
yes.
things I obviously have thought about with choosing my partner. Like I picked him out of lineup, but just like those things are going to happen. They're just inevitable.
Yeah.
Terrible things are going to happen. And you can't totally predict the future of how someone's going to act. But if you're with somebody in a relationship, you can probably start guess
Yeah.
a little bit.
Right.
You can see how they support you now, even the littlest thing that goes. I mean, you just can think of, is that the person that's going to be by your side? I mean, this is when we talk about different types of personalities. We talk about narcissists and things like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't imagine the women who are like with a partner like that, who is more narcissistic or not supportive. And then these terrible things happen. Like it makes it even worse.
Yep.
As if you had nobody almost, you know what I mean?
And you're doing it alone.
Yeah.
Like I felt like if anything, I wasn't there for you enough because I was like, I'm helpless. Like, and again, I was dealing a lot more physically, but the physical part of losing a child,
Right, there's all
especially
that, too.
late term, like is nothing compared to the emotional and the mental, but still being stuck with like, you know, my body was so different and I had to deal with so much postpartum. And I'm like, I have postpartum depression with no baby. Like, how is that? You know, and then having John having to like, you know, get me into the shower, cook for me, like just make sure that I was like getting sun, like going outside, eating. And again, these are just such important things to think about when you're choosing a partner, you know.
And then you don't have to answer this if it's too personal, but we got some questions about like, what's your mindset now with kids? And again, if that's too much.
We talk about this all the time. I thought it would change. Like, I thought my mindset would change. Like, okay, this makes me not want to try again or makes me want to try even more. And I feel like I'm in the same position as we were before where it's like, what do we want to do?
I think because we're so traumatized
Right.
and then now and I don't want to say we're healed, but like we're in a better place now that we can, you know, travel. We're kind of like, I mean, this child-free life is still great. So it's like, what do? We know though that our hearts were expanded in a way that is unexplainable. And we really don't know. Like, I just think it's too early to tell. Like, we're still healing. And I don't think that we need to know right now.
I want to know though.
I would love to know.
We talk about it every day. It's like driving us
Yeah.
crazy.
Like, how can we make this decision?
Yeah, like,
Right,
do we
like-
want to move forward and be parents or not?
we
But it's
let
funny 'cause-
gravity take charge again.
Yeah. So are you pulling out? Like, what, are you
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to
Where are you coming, John?
We had that question mid smash. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
I'm not even kidding.
Eye contact. Eye contact.
I'm a weak bitch. I'm like, you decide. You decide. Yeah, you choose.
Straight eye contact. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know.
God, you
It's
gotta tell me
scary.
soon.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we're along for the journey.
Stay
Thank you guys
tuned.
for sharing
well,
all of that and being so open and
And
vulnerable.
thank you guys. I feel like you have such an amazing platform to have serious conversations, but also to, make dick jokes and laugh. And so I feel like this is a very safe space. So thank you guys for having us.
Were you bringing us on for relationship advice, or like did you?
About for me?
You
You think I need your relationship?
assistance?
We're going to do a few. We're going to go through a couple scenarios.
Yeah, we pulled some fun emails for you.
I love
guys.
it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, also, John, stick around. Give me relationship advice. Where you going? Okay, so we just asked our audience settle this argument for us. Basically, am I in the wrong or they? And we pulled a couple emails for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys don't have the same last name, but you sort of do.
We do legally.
Well,
have the
let's
same
read the
last name.
email.
Let's
All
get
right,
into
we're
it.
gonna read
Okay,
the email and then we'll take it. Okay.
legally.
My husband and I are struggling with the last name situation. She asked us to not say the last name,
Okay,
by the way,
yeah.
so I'm not going
Which
to say
is
their
annoying,
actual
but
last
whatever.
names.
Is it a cool last name
Right,
though?
hers
That's
is-
actually
hers
really-
is.
Hers is cool.
Hers is
Okay.
cool.
His is not.
His is so stupid.
Yeah, it's
tough.
imagine a stupid last name. It's that.
Okay.
Okay. His last name is a boring white man name. Mine is cooler. It has more meaning. My family is Jewish, and we had ancestors in the Holocaust, so it is very meaningful to us. His family are Trump supporters. We strongly disagree with them. They also live in Florida. We live in Ohio. We never see them. My family is in Ohio with us. We see them every Sunday for family dinner. They help pay for my husband's grad school. We are way closer with them. I want him to take my name, or at least my kids take my name, but he isn't here for it. He says he doesn't want to embarrass his family. Embarrass his family. They're already embarrassed. They're Trump supporters.
They don't get embarrassed. They're not going to be embarrassed.
She says, I want us all to have the same last name to be a family unit. What are your thoughts?
I mean, right now it's very one-sided. Obviously, she's writing the email, so she's like, my last name has meaning. I'm like, how do you know his fucking last name does have meaning for him?
Sure.
This is why we need a boy.
Well, there's no
because I'm like,
Holocaust on his last name.
Yeah, no Holocaust on his side.
True. This is a
Yeah.
rough question though,
It
because
is.
like I agree. Like you should decide together what last name you want, but then I'm biased. 'Cause I'm like, you're gonna have to take my last name.
See, yeah, okay.
But I also hate my last name.
So when we were getting married,
Was there a Curb episode? Do you guys watch Curb?
oh yeah,
And Larry convinced them to take the one's last name.
don't remember
and It was a
this.
huge fight. Okay, this was
I
this
don't
past
remember
season.
this either.
All right,
Oh,
just
it
go
was
ahead.
this season?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't caught up to this season yet.
Okay.
But so I took John's last name, but I don't like his last name. So I go by my
What?
middle name,
Wait, what,
Madison.
isn't it Buffet?
Buffet, yeah.
No, like Phoebe.
But it's
Boofy's
just
buffet. Buffet.
If it was buffet, I would take it.
I'll just go kill myself.
girls gotta eat.
It's French Canadian. Bouffard. It's hard to say.
I just know about Boof. John Boof.
Bouffard.
Bouffard.
Have you looked up boof in the Urban Dictionary?
Phoebe Buffet almost made me pee my pants. I'm like holding it back.
No, someone came up to me once and they were like, "Are you Mrs. Booth?" And I was like, "I'm
Mrs. Boof
not.
nasty.
I am not. No,
Wrong
wrong girl."
And it sounds like they're not also going to hyphenate it, by the way.
Okay.
Like it is one or the other.
Let's
go-
say the reasons why, though. I actually think they should just keep their own.
I was
last
just gonna
names.
say, if we were to get married now, I would have kept my maiden name.
Yeah.
It is such a fucking bitch to change your last name for no reason. For no fucking
We're already
reason.
fighting about it right now because her passport
It's still my maiden name.
Go,
No, go, you go.
go ahead.
You go, John.
Go, God.
No, you tell the
I'll
story.
just look at
tell
the-
the story about my
I'll just-
maiden name.
I'll just look at the. I'll just look at the fucking wall.
Tell the
Go ahead.
story, John.
I
good
won't tell the
asshole?
story because it's annoying. Because
It's my last name.
We have
You
all
already
this-
took it from me.
Wait, what is your last name?
My maiden name was D'Amato.
Ooh.
So nice Italian.
No, those
Yeah.
Italian names, you can't give them up. I guess you
No.
did.
My mom's last
But
name is
when I hear about these,
Dantino.
But a mistake. I
Dantino?
made a mistake.
what is it?
Dantino D'Amato.
That's his
These are
mom's
good-ass
maiden
names.
name.
Ooh.
But
No.
his
She
last
gave it
name
up for
is-
Bouffard.
yeah,
I like Boof.
I mean, listen, they're all good
Miss
names.
Boof.
look up boof in the
Anyway,
Urban
so
Dictionary.
I am team don't change your last name, but I don't think that you should force your partner to take your last name either. If you're going to change a name, go with the cooler name. Like whose name is better?
This is interesting. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
I've heard of I don't want to take his last name
Totally.
and he's upset because the kids. I've never heard it being
Yeah.
like, but you take mine.
Right, yeah.
Like, I don't want to shame her. This man also, like
a
with
male
his
ego
Trump
thing.
supporting family, isn't going to probably take your Jewish
No.
last name. And that's
No.
most men wouldn't take a last name no matter what they got going on. And people know where we stand politically, so it's not that. But it's just like, you guys got to keep your own if neither's willing to change,
Exactly.
and then hyphenate for your kids or something.
Right.
Like
It feels like neither of you wants to compromise. So the compromise is neither of you gets what you want.
Exactly.
Like, he's not going to take your last name. He doesn't want to, just like you don't
Wanna
take
take
his.
his.
And
100%.
so she's saying, well, neither of us wants this, but my needs supersede his because we're
The
closer with my
Holocaust.
family and the Holocaust.
Right.
The Holocaust is a real trump card, but like,
it's in Sex and the City why I keep, because she goes, but now Charlotte says, but now because you brought up the Holocaust about Harry's mom. It's a
Right.
it's a thing. It's
Yeah.
like yeah. Okay.
Jews are sensitive. I mean, Jews, we really think about the Holocaust a lot, and we don't ever want to like forget that this is a thing that we struggled through.
Absolutely.
And to get rid of that name that like made it through the Holocaust, I understand is a very sensitive pain point. But then the solution to me is to hyphenate it. Like,
I agree.
What goes first?
It's going to sound crazy. We can't say the name.
No.
no,
Like-
he's saying
like
does
just-
her name come first or does his name come first?
Does that
I mean,
matter?
for the kids?
For the
I
kids.
think you rock paper scissors.
Yeah. I just don't think anyone
Actually,
should be
that's
forcing
not a bad
anyone.
idea. Keep your own last names, and your kids are hyphenated, but then figure out how to.
So
That's hard too.
I don't know that I like this whole like, but my parents paid for your grad schools. It feels a little bit like
I honestly
but my
don't think that
parents
these
did this
two
for
should be
you.
getting married. Honestly, like your relationship is in
Alex's
shambles.
go-to for-
No, I think everyone should break up. Like,
But I'm with you. Like saying like, well, his family lives in Florida and they're Trump supporters. Well, what does that have to do with
your
anything?
last
You're
name.
marrying him. You're
Yeah.
not marrying. Like, yes, I know we marry somebody's family.
she's just saying
but-
my family's better.
Yeah, she's saying my family's better.
Which
so
they are.
My name.
But you can't hold that over his head.
Exactly.
I don't want to sound like I'm picking a side because I don't even know how I feel, but yeah, go to therapy.
it sounds like there's other issues in your relationship. So let's maybe unpack that.
yeah.
They're already married. It's very interesting
they
to me that
are?
they. So she says my husband and I.
Oh, shit.
So they're already married.
We're like, break up.
I missed that.
Yeah, they're
I do
already
that a lot.
married. So it sounds like they didn't like
I
resolve this
missed it
ahead of
too.
time. This is sort of coming up because of children, and she wants the kids to have the
Yes.
same name as there. And I understand like one family, one name. Before Ashley and
'Cause
I
it's a little
started
bit
the
of a mess.
podcast, like when I was getting married, I would have changed my last name to his name because I grew up. My mom had a different last name than mine. It was just like a pain in the ass growing up, you know. But he's like, I don't want to give up my last name, and she's like, no, change your last name, and also the kids get it. It doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, it's
Right.
I'm not. There's no way. Me changing my name is not on the. That's,
Table, right.
But
yeah, at all.
But it's like, where's the compromise with
But the kids, I get it.
Maybe just make up a last name for the kids. Everyone's different.
hybrid it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, confuse the shit out of them. Perfect.
Yeah.
Who makes more money?
Oh my.
She has to make
Who
the
cares
kid.
about hyphenating it though? Hyphenate it, and to your point, rock paper scissors. It's fair and square. I can't.
It's gonna sound crazy, you guys, but we'll share it after.
Yeah.
Like those kids are gonna be like, fuck all the way off. Mom and dad. Okay. So here's one about in-laws. And what's your story with your in-laws? Like, you guys all cool?
Love
Both
Honestly,
sides?
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I was like, I have to marry John is
family.
because the family. Yeah, I love them
Her
so
and my
much.
sister are like best friends.
I love her.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's how
I'm
like
so
my
lucky.
fiance is with my brother. I'm like, I'm really cool with his sister too. Like,
That's
we're-
great.
Yeah,
We just haven't spent as much time together as him and my brother. It's so special. Okay.
yeah, it's important.
All right. My in-laws that are very wealthy. What is going on with all the wealthy in-laws?
I mean,
But
get
that's
it.
important.
Yeah,
That's
that
important
is
to the story.
important.
Are coming to visit us later this month. My husband, toddler, and I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, so it's already tight quarters. Keep that in mind. My in-laws want to stay in our apartment with us. They offered to take our bed. They offered. We'll take the bed. And my husband and I could sleep on the couch. I was shocked at this idea for a couple reasons. One, they are very
Rich.
well off financially and could easily pay for a hotel. Two, they are completely aware we live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom with a toddler. Is this real? Who in their right mind thinks it's a good idea? My husband doesn't think it's a big deal and we should let them stay with us, but I do not want this. Am I being ridiculous?
No,
This
get
is
a fucking hotel
this
room.
is on her husband though to say, "Hi, we have an air mattress that you could sleep on, or you could get a hotel."
Yeah.
What?
We're gonna leave our bedroom for you
We have
guys.
a baby.
Yeah, the
I
toddler.
really feel like that's our parents' generation. Like they want to be in the
Be-
same.
yes, in the same vicinity.
Like-
yeah.
A 1-bedroom with a child.
Are they even going to?
That's
have
already
fun?
too
Are
tight for the three of
grandparents-
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
in my
That's
opinion.
crazy.
Yes.
No, I think it's on the husband to address this. Like, your husband needs to understand that this is not okay with you. This is a boundary. And your husband needs to bring this up to his parents and say, I'm sorry, we're squished. You can't stay
This
here.
is just a square footage issue.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
common sense.
Like,
It's
and
a common
also,
sense.
I'm sorry, like, just bathroom. I don't want to be sharing a bathroom with my
Their
father-in-law.
dad? Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, like it's but the
balls
tub's got
on
a bunch
your
of
soap.
toys in it. You know, like this is crazy.
It would be different if it was like they don't have any money and it's just nice that they're gonna
Right.
come. But it's like it sounds like they can afford a hotel, and it's crazy. Her husband is like not on our team about this.
I wonder culturally what they are too.
Surprised
a
they
good
want to
point.
impose themselves on them like that. Like, let me get
I
your
think
personal space.
Generational, but like I just said, cultural too. Who's to say? Like,
yeah. But taking their bed,
I'm sure they're not
that's
aware.
Weird.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they're like
Uh-huh.
clueless about it.
But you're right. Some people, it's just like it would be inconceivable to not stay with your family when you go somewhere.
also they could be wealthy but cheap.
Yeah,
They could be those people that are like,
True.
we're not paying for a hotel.
There's
Why
like
would
a
we
few
pay?
different options though. Like if they stay, like they're sleeping on the couch, the
Yeah.
pull out.
If my in-laws slept in my bed,
Imagine.
give me the
But
extra
where's the
life.
toddler
Exactly.
sleeping?
Enjoy my room. I'll just be right out here outside the door.
Actually, I want to know where the toddler sleeps anyway.
Maybe
'Cause
in
there's
their
one
room?
bedroom. Yeah.
I don't know.
They are
I would
cramped.
send them hotel options, Airbnb options. And
Yeah.
then be like, or you could sleep on the
Yeah.
couch, but that's the last option.
And they need to upgrade too. They need some money from the rich family.
Ashley
Right.
just can't believe that they live in this apartment with
Right.
a kid.
Crazy.
Ashley's like, I want to talk about the real issue at hand.
No.
Anyway, to wrap that one up, break up. Just kidding.
Yeah, break up. Everyone break up.
We're on her side, and your husband should back you up.
Yeah.
And you
For
should
sure.
lean on the kid.
That's a whole thing too. Like you got to deal with this. It's your
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
Like we have to be united front. You
Yeah.
have to tell them they're being crazy. Okay. This last one, she writes, I recently read the book Chain Gang All Stars. So good, but very intense, and posed a situation that came up in the plot to my boyfriend, Eric. Oh, she's name dropping. We love it. Basically, in the book, two lovers are pitted against each other in a Hunger Games style prison fight where they have to kill each other for the entertainment of the rich. I was like, well, we would both just kill ourselves to avoid murdering each other, right? And Eric said, no,
drop
one of
you.
us should live. I was like, you'd want to keep living after you murder me? And he said, I quote, I'd move on.
Oh shit!
Then she writes, I think this is an insane, borderline psychopathic take. Am I wrong?
Listen, are we all on Eric's side here? Be honest.
Okay.
There's certain things. So like,
Eric should have lied.
I'm definitely scared of sharks, and I told Alex she wants to scuba dive. I'm like, I'm not going. And if you get mauled by a fucking shark,
You're up by yourself.
that's
You're
the
on
one
your
thing
own.
I'm not gonna jump into the
Okay,
water.
but you're the shark also. Like, you're both sharks in this situation. Like, you have to kill each
Like,
other for
someone
entertainment
has
purposes.
to die.
Okay, my best case scenario is that he promises to let me kill him
Right.
so that I can move on.
Okay, this is
Are
just
you taking his last name then?
No, I'm from the Holocaust.
I'm from not from the
No, you're not
I'm
taking his
from
last
it.
name, and he's gonna die for you.
Right, I'm from it. That's insane.
Jeez.
It's not just I'd move on without you. It's I will have killed you.
Killed you and gotten over it. It's
Like
fine.
If I don't know. I don't think
Back on
my
Tinder.
my partner should admit that he would kill me, even in a fake scenario.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you think
and
he
not
should
that
say,
he
"I'll let
warned-
you kill me," so that you can go on? I
He
would
should have
want you
said
to go
anything
on.
else.
I'm trying to think because if John and I actually like neither
don't
of us
know who
would
would
back down.
win.
Yeah, like we would.
In a
It would be
fight.
a fair fight. Like we.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so competitive. You're like, I want to
Yes.
do this.
Yeah, no. So I think it would be a legit fight, and I don't know who would win.
Yeah.
I love this response. You guys
I'm
are like,
not
I'm
trying
ready.
to-
Yeah. So
I'm not trying to get too deep with it, but
We'll decide.
I don't
in the
know about
pit.
Eric. You guys.
well, no, Eric, the fact that he's so okay with killing you off and then
Fists or
moving on
knives.
and admitting that.
I'm Eric. Like, I feel like that.
But I feel like there's a double
You're like-
standard here. Like, as the woman, like, yeah, I should be living.
Yeah, like that's a bad bitch. Like
Yeah.
I killed my husband. I'm moving on.
Right.
Like Eric, you killed your
Exactly.
wife.
I know, be like,
Eric's
play
an
my mom.
abuser.
Yeah.
right. Cancel Eric.
I'm sorry. Has Eric ever been in a relationship
No,
before? Like
no.
when you get asked those questions, you were like, "Babe, you're being ridiculous."
Hashtag
and you leave
break up
the
with
room.
He's a
Eric.
survivalist.
That's true. Like, it's a scenario that's never going to happen. Tell me what I want to hear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or ignore it and be like, "Babe, I'm not answering that." Let's go get
Right.
food.
Right. I would kill myself so
Let's
I
order
didn't have
pizza.
to kill you and you would move on.
And like keep in your brain, your little pea brain,
I would
what
kill
you would
myself because I
actually
know
do.
you wouldn't do it right.
I love how competitive you guys are. You're like, no, I want to see you win.
No, yeah, we would. We would fight to death.
drop you.
I'd be like, good luck.
This is like Black Mirror.
But then I do think, honestly, and this is my perspective of what I'm telling myself, I do think you would feel bad and you would let me kill you.
Yeah.
Do
We should
they
get
win
food.
money? I don't know if they win
Oh.
money. They're doing it for entertainment for the rich. But
No,
do
I
they
think-
also win anything?
So it's like just a hypothetical.
I don't
for
know.
this book.
Oh.
yeah, like is there like prize money? Because
Right.
that changes the game
That
too.
does also, like, am I also going to be rich if I
Yeah,
don't
like,
get to be with
will
you?
I end up with like hot suitors
Is there
after
someone
this,
waiting
too?
for me
Right.
after this fight? Yeah, I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing.
Alex breaks
Like
her
a
Neanderthals.
6'4".
She's like, what up now?
Exactly. But they had horrible personalities. Like, we would just run in circles the whole time. I'd be like, neither of us can kill each other. Oh no. Everyone's bored. They just shoot us.
Definitely murdering Alex.
oh my god.
Now I got to read this book to see what happens.
I know.
What is this book? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much
Took a turn. Yeah.
for answering all these, for being so
you for
vulnerable.
having us.
This was incredible.
Yeah, we love you guys so much. So fun. Come back
Oh, I
anytime.
know.
You guys have to follow them on Instagram, TikTok. Their content is really unbelievable. It's just so feel good and funny. So tell me where to find you guys.
Alexandra Madison. I actually don't know like what it's either two N's. at
Two
the
N's, I
end.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then John is.
Are you gonna say it for me? You're gonna say what mine?
No,
is?
go ahead, John.
I
You're
actually
up.
hate mine. I need to change it. Help me change it.
John Booth.
John Boof.
Booth.
Oh,
John Booth.
I'm Brandon Greenberg.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a dot.
And then the podcast.
Our podcast is
coming.
called.
It's on hiatus, but
it's gonna come back early 2025.
okay.
after-
People ask that
Give
as
It to Me
well.
Straight
Yes,
podcast.
it's called Give It To Me Straight podcast, and then like we're on all the socials, YouTube. You can find us there.
And the movie? Can people watch the movie?
Yeah, so shower. Well, we have #cringe, which is out. It's a short film about an influencer couple who go on a brand trip when they reveal secrets about their marriage. But then shower, because of the film festival circuit, we won't be able to share that fully until later in the year, or like I guess 2025. So we'll keep everyone in the
wait.
loop
I
for
know.
that.
The teaser's on your
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, but the teaser's out there.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, it sounds like the teaser has already made an impact. So
Yeah. But
All
thank
right,
you guys
guys.
again so much
Yes,
for
thank
having
you so
us.
much.
Thank
you. And you guys know where to find us, girlsgottaeat.com for tour tickets, Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess, Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Our other company, vibesonly.com. Subscribe on YouTube, share this episode with a friend, and we will see you Thursday.
Have a good couple days, guys.
Bye.